Must be.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to this week's GKP Live. Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's had a good week up to press. Usual thing. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, Daz. What are we having for tea this evening then, mate?
Every time. Mushroom pie, chips and peas.
Chips and peas. No pie. Pie, chips and peas.
Mushroom pie, yeah.
Oh, nice. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. How are you all doing, folks? How are you doing, Rick? You good, bud?
Yes, mate. Yeah, all good. Very good.
He's just been telling me backstage prior to before we came live that he'd been getting rather wet this week, as it seems it's probably been pissing it down for most of us. Yeah. And that's been too bad today. It was a dry day for me, but rest of the week's been pretty shit, hasn't it? It has been pretty bad. Does what was that you sent us? Can somebody do us a favour and come shift all this pea gravel for me today, because I've got tons and tons of it to shift and then tons and tons to put back down again.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit win-win because all the gravel I took up, I'm going to use that on the farm, on the paths. So,
sweet. That's a bonus, then.
Yeah.
Okay, lift it all up, putting a membrane down, then putting it all back down again with new.
Yeah, give it a wash through first, yeah.
There you go. Reuse, recycle.
That's it. No point binning it or skipping it, is there? I mean, one, you got to pay to get rid of it. If you can make use of it, I guess that's going to be a couple of trailerfuls, or does, if you have a few ton of it to shift.
It is. It's just a bit dirty. I mean, customer wants
now to water you put down that pathway, mate, it'll soon get clean, won't it?
The amount of bleach I put on it.
Massive thank you to everybody who's joined us this evening so far. I did try to pop all the little bits of comments in as we're going through the introduction. I will pick up on those where I haven't. First of all, there we've got a Humbercoy with how we doing. Hope you had a good week, nearly the weekend. Not near enough, mate. I can tell you that. I'm really glad to. It does seem to have gone quick though this week, to be fair. But
you broke up now, haven't you?
Say again.
You broke up now, haven't you? Or have you got something to do tomorrow?
Not yet. No, not yet. That's awesome. One way over. Marek Skypon said, good evening. Matt Charles says, good evening, Gaz, Daz, Rick and all. Thank you very much, Matt. I hope you're good, mate.
Good evening.
Simon says, good evening, all. Always sounds like you're saying Simon says. Nigel says, good evening, all. And we've got Bubble and Fins UK that says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a good week so far. Let's get ready for another great Thursday Night Live with Gaz, Daz, and the guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I would like to say a massive big thanks to all the people that have joined the channel and subscribed. And what I am thinking about doing, I don't know whether or not I should do or not, but it's something I'm going to put to you guys here while you're on now. I mean, there's 89 here at present. What would anybody think about a membership? By such, I mean a membership, making it as cheap as I possibly can so that you can get some kind of little bit extra in the comments and such, so you get a little bit of a logo alongside your name or anything like that. Let me know what you think, guys. Don't know about doing it, but it's another way of giving you guys a little bit of something else alongside of it. I haven't really looked much into it. Good evening. How you doing?
Hiya.
Evening.
Good week.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
A
Has it been a
week.
good
Yeah,
week?
yeah. Not too bad. Yeah, nice week actually. Just nice. Just trying to get out of this jet lag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet that's a killer, mate, isn't it?
Oh,
Wait,
honestly,
I've been
mate,
up since effing 4 in the morning.
yeah, it's not too bad on the way out there. It's just when you come back, it really hits you when you come back for some reason.
Yeah.
But you just seem to wait. It's mad because you fly to Japan, and when you're in that time zone, I keep waking up at 3 in the morning, constantly 3 in the morning. It does your head in, and then you can't get back to sleep, right? And then you get used to it, and then you come back to the UK, and you keep waking up at 3 in the morning. It's like a horror film. It's like mad.
Like Groundhog Day, same thing again and again.
Just 3 o'clock in the morning, constantly, like 3 o'clock in the morning. It does your night in.
Enjoyed it then?
Oh, mate, it's fantastic, mate. Honestly, like yeah, what a place. You just learn so much, you learn the best place to learn is be cheeky and just jump into Yamaguchi's high jet when he's traveling back and forth. Do you know what I mean? Because he speaks really good English, Yamaguchi, to be honest. And I was racking his brains with feeding regimes for the Tozai, what foods he uses and all that kind of stuff. And he's really open, mate. So when the Grow On Pond gets up and running, probably this week now, I'm gonna try his regime possibly.
Is it right? A fair few of them are doing like 1.5% of the fish's body weight is what it should be eating per day. Is it something like that? I'm sure I've seen some on. Is it Dianiche's video that he did where he worked out all the weights of all the fish in there, which equaled so much to a percentage of their body weight as to what they needed to eat per day.
That's how I work my dinner out, by the way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
10%.
I think I'm not really overly qualified to do that. I just smash in as much as they can eat without the water getting polluted.
But they were saying there that on that particular video, you were saying how it's quite precise. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just wasting Well, I suppose when
Yeah,
you're doing it on
but-
this scale, you're wasting a lot of resources. aren't you?
Yeah,
A lot
but I think on that particular video, he was talking about like the older koi, wasn't he? Like the older fish, like yonsai and stuff. But
yeah, these were 3-year-olds, or and they were trying to get them over.
that's right. And
over
their
110.
metabolism would be probably a lot slower. So I think Tozai, well, when I was talking to Yamaguchi anyway, he was telling me what percentage of color and growth that he uses at what temperatures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which was quite interesting. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I've got a diagram he sent me actually last night. I was talking to him in bed, and he sent me a little diagram about what to do. And also, I think this year, with my auto feeder, instead of feeding every 2 hours, which I do in the big pond for obviously for the older fish because their metabolism is slower, I think I'm going to feed them on the hour because their toes are at the end of the day and they, their metabolism, they probably clear out a lot quicker. So I'm going to try that anyway.
Little and often king.
Yeah, little and often instead
Little
of
and
2
often.
hours, I think 2 hours in between feeds. It'll be the same amount of food in the day, whatever I work out. But then instead of 8 feeds, I'll do 16 feeds, but smaller intervals, and
Yeah.
smaller amounts.
So half in it, but spreading it out more.
Yeah. Try it that way.
Getting the same
Maybe they can.
content, but over a longer period.
That's right.
more.
Maybe their body can imbibe more nutrients, and it might work out better that way.
Do you not think it'd make more sense, and no one ever does it, is feed on the hours, little and often, but feed 24 hours a day?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
Why does everyone feed daily? So you put you put all that weight through your filters for 12 hours.
Then you stop
for 12 hours. If you just kept a constant trickle through while you're growing.
Yeah, you could do, but even that Sakai, when Kentro was talking about that feeding regime that Gaz was just on about for the older koi, he did say that obviously he feeds from Monday to Friday, in the day, and then he has Saturday and Sunday off to clear the fish out. So I think it probably is a good idea just to flush them out at one point of the day. Do you know what I mean? But who am I? Without being scientifically proven, that can't really be.
They will feed fruit now, though. Won't
they'll feed more happily at night than they do during the day.
Of course, yeah. It's a carp, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even know why people do feed them through the day. They really should be fed through the night. Really,
it's just one of them. It's in everyone's head, isn't it? You set
it's
your
in everyone's head,
and
I think they enjoy them coming up to see them feed. But realistically, the auto feeder should go on 6 in the evening and get turned off at 6 in the morning. But
yeah, they're certainly. I mean, I've been out at stupid o'clock when I've had a couple of times where my filter system's cocked up and overflowed and blocked up, and I've thought, bollocks, I've got to set 2 and top pond up, and I've been sat gaming away, and it's been like 2:30 in the morning, and I thought, just let dog out and find shit, pond's half empty. So I've gone out there and topped it back up again, and just because I'm bored, stood there, just for curiosity, just thrown an handful on, and they gone mad for it. Absolutely crazy at 2 in the morning. You think,
it's probably in their DNA that when I go carp fishing, and when everyone goes carp fishing, who goes carp fishing, they'll know, your bite alarms start lighting up as soon as the dusk comes. Do you know what I mean?
Dusk, dusk till dawn. Best hours, aren't they, normally?
Yeah, but another thing as well is that when I do it, so what time is it now? 7:30. My auto feeder stopped about half an hour ago or something. But if I went out now about 11 o'clock, my koi are all on the floor sleeping.
Yeah, use big ones. But is that not something you've programmed into them? Not what
maybe. They just chill.
Food. So they're like, well, bored now. It's not going to come out of it.
Yeah, it's not going to come out now. Let's clear out, and we'll have a poo when we're lying on the bottom.
But for filtration, water quality, if you fed the 1 kilo of food a day over 24 feeds through 24 hours, is better than any other way. And also,
I'd be worried then that the koi are not having proper rest, because when you are training hard as a human, one of the most important parts of the day is your power naps and your rests. So I'd be worried that the koi wouldn't get enough rest then because they'd be wired every hour on the hour. They'd be competing for food.
But if the food was there, naturally they don't do that, do they? So we'll watch our fish, our feeders run continually, and they'll come feed. Once they've had enough, they go off, and they'll come. So the fish, different fish are on the feeder, but they come in their bits whenever they want. They'll still go and rest.
I suppose so. I suppose
that's like your clockwork ones that
there's just continually trickles in.
Anything's worth a go, isn't it? To see what will give you the edge, I guess. Yeah. Talking about food, I had to buy 3 sacks of food this week. Oh my god!
That ain't cheap, is it?
Another fish.
No, and I got to buy 3 at a time. So I got to buy like sake growth sinking, sake growth floating, and sake color. Do you know what I mean? So it's like once it all runs out, I'm like that. Oh no, I wish that someone would just make like a 40-60 mix straight away, so you can just buy 1 bag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be a lot better for you, wouldn't it, if it was, rather than having to buy the free
but everyone's got their own idea.
Are you giving the white stuff a go again as well?
Okay, yeah, so I might do that. So I've got pretty much 2 full. Well, I got 10 kilos of the pure white. So last year I had that, and it came a little bit too late from Perfect Aquatics. So I only had maybe about a week using it, which was kind of pissing in the wind, I guess. But I did use it a little bit. But I think this year I will use it like the week before. Well, 2 weeks before the first show in the National, I'll just smash pure white. I'll give them the whole 10 kilos of that, and then off the feed then for, well, I normally do 5 days, and then we'll see if it makes a difference. But I don't know. Like, again, I'm no expert. I think color food is a necessity to get all the, that spirulina in them for like the Benny and stuff like that. But I think the Suroji on a fish, I think is genetic, to be honest. I think really trying to enhance that pure white Suroji is, I don't know. I think it's just, if it, like when my fish are swimming around now, there's like a few of them that really pop because the Suroji is really, really white on them. And I don't know if that white food would make much of a difference to it,
Didn't you have trouble before, Lee, with one of them going a bit yellow in head? Was that with the colour or was that with the white stuff?
Oh, I don't know. It would be with colour and growth in it, like that. That'll stay in their heads.
Shuru male, that yellow.
Yeah, no, that was an Okawa one. I don't know, for some reason I've had 3 Okawa Sheros, and I've never really got on with them. I don't know why. I made Okawa are amazing Shero, but maybe it's just the 3 I've had have not really. They've not.
Any of the males though, that yellow.
Yeah, I had 2 males and I had a female. The female was okay. It's just the Sumi wasn't coming out on it, so I passed that on to a friend. I think the Sumi's coming out on it now. Actually, sod's law. But yeah, is what it is. And again, I think if the fish goes a bit yellow on the head, maybe that is just the trait of that particular fish. I think when you're buying your fish, if you're going to show them, I think that Suroji is something to be really aware of, because that is quite hard to condition.
Yeah.
But the males always have a yellow head with shearers.
Of course, yeah.
Is that such a natural thing as they mature more then?
Well, yeah, they just have a yellowy head. That's just part and parcel. So
how quickly does that show up though, Rick? Is that something that they'll show more even as a young?
Even quite young, they'll have a yellower head, but
there's an indication.
A lot more obvious as they get older, because the females just get whiter. So when they're young, you can see the bones, so they all look a bit off color,
translucent. Yeah.
And then as the skin thickens, the females get a whiter head and the males get a yellower head. But yeah,
there you go. Sweet. Quick question for you, Daz, from that koi guy. Question for Daz. Any indoor plants that are good in rooms with lots of condensation that will take some of the moisture?
I imagine something like pothos. Anything fast growing.
Yeah, because they've got the roots that grow out the stem all the way down it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Moisture grabbing, like your ivy type things system. Like they've got the little tab roots.
They're really fast growers as well.
Yeah, and they will grow just in water as well, then, won't they? We don't need to be potted off. I've grown that in my tropical fish tank. It grew like mad.
A lot of people grow them purely for reducing the nitrates in the water.
Yeah.
But you've got to have a tropical environment or heated environment. It's no good trying to put them in a cold greenhouse or outside.
Yeah.
Don't all plants give off moisture as part of growing?
They do. Transpiration, yeah.
Yeah. So surely they're all going to...
Well, but the more growth you get out of a plant, the more moisture it's got to take in to support that. So you want something that's pretty vigorous, fast growing to make any difference.
There we go.
There you go. From the master of the plants himself. Because I ain't got a clue about anything. I would probably say though, anything cactus wise as well.
Yeah, they tend to. No, that's the opposite. They
store water though, don't
require much moisture at all. So I don't think they're going to take a lot up.
I've been considering growing tomato plants in my koi house.
Yeah, something like tomatoes or
Get
chili.
a nice like tomatoes. You know, like when you go to like Gordon Ramsay restaurants and all that kind of stuff, and you have like Welsh salt marsh sheep and stuff like that. You can have like
tomatoes.
Yeah, you can have fishy tomatoes. Awesome.
Tomatoes are a pain though. You got to do the side shoots. They grow
Yeah,
up.
that's true enough.
You get bush
all out.
Chilies, mate. Chilies, you can just put them in, grow them, harvest them, flog them down the market.
Then burn your insides out at Christmas.
Perfect. They grow well. Grow well inside one of your fish, in your pond, up on the side. A little bit of water from the pond through it. They do well.
But hope the chilies don't drop into the water.
Yeah, biohazard.
All right. Not a problem. Eat them.
Well, just if anybody could do us everybody could do us a huge favor. Anybody has got any questions this evening? We've only got 3 or 4 questions, but if anybody else has got any others, if you could just type them out, or just type out question in capital letters, just so that I know that it stands out, just to make it stand out a little bit more, so I don't miss anybody. Terence says, evening, mate. Hope you're good.
Evening, Terry.
Kelly says, Lee sat in the dark.
Yeah.
I know, mate. Spooky. Last time I was sat in the dark, it was probably about 15 miles out of Kandahar when I was looking at a little Afghan patrol. Yeah. Anyway, I do like sitting in the dark.
Yeah. Marek Skypon says, Lee, put some money in the meter.
You can't. It's all going to the koi pond, isn't it?
Well, mate, I don't even want to talk about that. But electric and food, I don't know why I do it. Oh, mate, I tell you what, though. I think I done a live, didn't I, when I was over in Japan? That was the last time I done a live, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before I got my bill off Ryan. Yeah, bit of a shock. I tell you what, every toes I count when you're paying for it, especially when you buy about 40 of them. I was like, oh no. Yeah, so it was a bit of a shock. I said, go on then, Ryan, what's on the tab? And I was like, what? I said, oh, right, yeah, okay.
How much?
Okay. Oh, mate, I was, yeah, whatever. It is what it is, though. But anyway, I'd hate to think what, like, well, I know what Ryan spent over there buying stock, and it's mind-blowing. Like, the amount of money that you've got to fork out to to flip things. They're like, oh, man, it's like, I don't think
the
I'd be
ones
able to
that you've
sleep at
bought
night.
are an investment as well, aren't they?
Of course they're an investment, but you that money's got to go before you see any kind of return from it. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying?
Shocking.
Did you get your ass handed to you when you got home, or is it still mum's the word?
Nah, mate. Nah, yeah, no, she's all right, mate. She don't mind it. It's my stuff, mate. Hey, she spends a lot more money than I do. Don't worry about that.
Don't they all?
Don't worry about her spending money, mate. She's a pro.
Yes.
But yeah, I've got some really nice stuff to go in that grow on. So I've got Joe, a lovely guy from Awaz rep coming down on Monday. So I've been really trying to get that grow on up and running and looking really. So it's very important for me to look nice now, because Joe's coming down to set some of the new pumps and all in that grow on. So it'll be a full Awaz system apart from the heater. But like yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. And I because they're sort of like Awaz is sort of like gifting me the products to be able to vlog about, to show you guys how they work and show me how to do all the Bluetooth and all that, which I'm not too clever on. You know, obviously all my system could be Bluetooth, but I just don't use it. So he's going to show me everything. I'm going to show you guys how all the pumps and all work, and I am looking forward to seeing how well they run and stuff. And I think they're going to take the cost of my electric down a lot as well. But I was quite aware that because they're gifting me such amazing products, that I had to get some really amazing Tozai to showcase the pond. You know what I mean, for growing them. So yeah, that pumped up the price. You know. You know, I was getting like I was going around with Ryan, and we went like I'm quite obsessed with Nagami Kawaku. Do you know what I mean? Because they are amazing bloodline. Do you know what I mean? And I was determined to get a box of those, and I was looking at the 3 or 4 ponds, and I was like, yeah, they're nice, but what about the high quality stuff? Oh man, the price just rockets. But anyway, I did get 15 high quality Nagami Kawaku to go. They're all certificated up as well, so I'm looking forward to those.
Sweet.
Yeah, and 15 high quality Tozai Kawaku as well, all certed up from Yoshino. So I'm really excited about that, because the Sankey I've got from Yoshino last year, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know, uses all Sakai parents, I think it is. So they're going to be no. Actually, I think the Sankey was Sakai and Danichi parents on that one. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I got.
Why don't you just admit to yourself now, live in front of you're definitely putting another growing at the other side? Because you know
Yeah. Oh, I definitely will. But like one at a time. That's something to do next year.
It's not going to be the same, because you ain't got the room with bench there, have you, to put in one of those big Awazi drums again? But you put the combi.
Well, I'm going to use the compact M that size. That side. Yeah. So, but I'll just wait until I can find a nice second-hand one for a decent price. But mate, those drums are really expensive now. You know.
Yeah.
The
window. That's the original window from the internal one, isn't it? When you had in the
remember? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it's just on its side now, so it's giving me like an 8.5 inch jumper guard.
It's only like half-inch either side, just shy of going to the full width of it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's close. I've got about 10 to 12 mil all the way around, you know, on, but like, you know, it's not going anywhere.
Did it take another 1.5 tubes per side then?
I haven't done that yet. I've done a bit more concrete in that wasn't on the last video. My mate needs to help me now to take the drum off quick, so I can do some compo in and finishing the tiling behind the drum. But I was going to do it tonight, but I've just been on a big giant walk with the dog after work, so I've just sat down and just chilled out. As I've sat down, you boys were on, so I thought, I'll pop on and say hello.
Can't help yourself, can you? Every day in Japan, you got me some grief, mate. Every day on the farm working, getting home, watching you in Japan. The missus is like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
I'm watching Lee in Japan, aren't I?
Yeah,
planning for the future, love. That's what I'm doing.
I'm glad everyone likes those videos, because like I get some quite good feedback from not only hobbyists but like dealers and stuff like that. They all actually quite like it, so it's nice to have it's good. But yeah, it's a great place.
You've got on pretty well with them all, haven't you?
Yeah. I do get on quite well.
Them by surprise.
Yeah. I've been offered a couple of jobs over there in October. If I want to, I've definitely got a job in NMD, which would be good, because Fujio and Kobayashi, they speak really good English. Makoto speaks quite good English as well, and the farm itself is pretty vast, and they've got such a good array of of different varieties. Do you know what I mean? Which would be good. Like, I suppose, I could go with Uncle Takano, but there I've only got Sankey. Do you know what I mean? And he'd probably end up touching me most days. So it depends what I want to do. Yeah. But NND definitely sounds quite good. You know what I mean? I think
Would
I
you
could
do it?
probably go. I could probably hover around and do a few bits and bobs, like Hosokai. I get on really well with Yusei at Hosokai, the young lad there. He's quite good, and he's beautiful to look at most days.
That's all that's important, isn't it?
Huh?
It's important. Make sure they're good to look at.
Yeah. But he's a great lad. He is, mate. We went to you know, babes. I pulled. We went to Hosokai's like secret facility as well, which was quite. And on one of the videos, I said, I can't show this place. So if you go back on some of the videos, they're only like 30 minutes long, and that's purely because some of the places that you go in, I can't film because they might have parent sets that they don't want me to show, or like pump out like koi houses that no one goes to, so they keep it quite quiet. And that's a good thing with Ryan, mate. Because he puts his hand in his pocket and he's willing to pay a lot more for high quality stuff. The breeders love it. They really love it, mate. They really appreciate Ryan, and like it gains them access to some pretty good stuff, which is awesome because I'm tagging along in Atsushi's car.
Yeah. So
that's the best bits, mate. The filming when you wander off and film the filters and
isn't it?
Lift up a bit and
dude, isn't it? Honest to God, mate, because when I watch Evo stuff, I love Evo stuff. Like a lot of his stuff is really nice and polished. But when I was watching it before, I'm like, it's not enough. I want to see what's behind the koi houses. Do you know what I mean? I want to see what, do you know what I mean? I want to see what's in the little medical boxes. When I was in Danichi, looking at the little medical boxes, I was like, oh, it gives me a little bit of a semi. I love it.
Definitely the best bit. So that's what you got to do, isn't it? It shows, but they're real people. People make them out to be, the superstars or whatever.
It makes them more down to earth.
People have a beer, have a chat, have an arm wrestle.
Yeah,
look in the filter box.
Yeah. They're one thing I can't put on my videos. So my videos are quite tame, to be honest, compared to who I actually am. I should have an alternative channel on OnlyFans, Koi Soldier OnlyFans, and have like the unedited versions. But like I've got an amazing talent where I can put my testicles above my penis and make it look like a mosquito's head. And the Japanese breeders are quite fond of the car. So in Japanese, mosquito is a car. So they all go, Lisa, the car. So I've got to pull my testes out and do the mosquito thing. And they love it. Absolutely love it.
Wow.
Yeah, you just got to be different, haven't you, to build bridges. They're not going to forget me in a rush.
Just walk through then and listen to that and just stood it down going.
I got many talents, but that's a particular good one. You can only do it with age, to be honest.
Down well.
Get some good fish for it, didn't you?
But then
you get some good fish for it, didn't you? You show them the mosquito.
They show you. I don't get them for free, but I get access to them. Yeah.
They show you a koi fry.
That's right. Or what did I do in Yamaguchi? Hang on now. Oh, yeah. So Yamaguchi, so like they've got like the auto feeders, and they've normally got like little battery packs, haven't they? And then in Yamaguchi's koi house, he's got a battery charger, a little unit like that with like crocodile clips. And every time I go in there, I always pull my trousers down and put the crocodile clips on my testicles, and Yamaguchi thinks that's amazing. I say, come on then, I'm charging myself up. How much is this, Tozai? And he loves it, mate. He breaks down crying.
He's waiting for the end to light up, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I actually took him by surprise the last time I was there. Actually, I said, hey Yammers, have you seen my own personal I said have you seen my own personal auto feeder? And he goes, Lisan, auto feeder? I said, yeah, give me 2 minutes. Yeah, and I packed my willy full of sake akari, and yeah, it was good. You know, it only feeds once, and it's not quite automatic, but yeah, it's
You didn't put in his pond for his fish, did you?
yeah. And I said, if they all get dropsy, I'll pay for the medication.
I hear you've got a bit of a kind of like a morning ritual as well while you're over there.
Oh, the monkey, the golden monkey.
Yeah. When I'm on, I am. Yeah. The new Atani Hotel, I've got lovely little bay windows, and you can ask Evo this. Evo's seen the naked Japanese monkey in the window.
Is that
Yeah,
why
I
you
always
Oh.
I always have a little stretch naked in one of the new Atani windows. It's I have to do it now. It's one of those things. If I don't, there's going to be an earthquake. The only time I didn't do it, there was an earthquake. So I'm determined.
I kind of figured that what might have been what you were referring to when you said, let's have a look at some planes. And then you said something about a window. I thought, I wonder if he's referring to his favourite thing.
My naked howler monkey. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It sets me up for the day, to be honest.
Oh, well, I'd like to say we'd share it with you, but
No,
you better not.
Yeah. You might have to leave that for your other channel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We've got a quick question there from Keith and Paula. Sorry, I'm not laughing at your question. Needs some help with ours. Got a turquoise showing sign of mucus stroke fungus. I've ordered the microscope, which won't be here till next Tuesday. Is anyone around Swaddling Co, I think that's pronounced, can lend us one any quicker? Fungus is not something that I don't think you really need a microphone. If you've got like a cotton wool type fungus, bear with me 1 second.
Microscope ain't going to be any help without the fungus.
2 seconds.
Yeah, there's probably a reason for it though. So skin scrape. You can email us a picture of the fish if you got it. We might be able to help.
Yes.
There's my new little princess.
Oh.
Go on then.
Get her a koi onesie. Do they do them? Someone should do a little koi onesie.
Danichi shop probably does.
Yeah.
Sorry, they've just come up to see us. My son and his partner and their new little daughter. Sorry, fungus. I was saying.
Take a photo and email us, and we can just see if it is fungus or mucus or cart pox or what, and then try and get a microscope. But I don't even know where Swaddling Coat is. Lincolnshire.
It's Derbyshire.
I wasn't far wrong. It's Derbyshire.
Yeah, it's not. It is Derbyshire area, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, 20 minutes away from me.
Is it more like a cotton wool type fungus? You know, early stages of it, because if that's in that just a treatment with malachite blue.
Yeah.
Malachite green. You very rarely get fungus without another problem.
Yeah.
So
something else underlying causing that?
Yeah, parasite or something else would be going on. So
I think like a secondary infection into it, really.
It's pretty much.
There you go. Well, hopefully, Paula and Keith, somebody's close by can perhaps give you the use of one.
Yeah, if you can get a good photo of it and just email us, then we might be able to.
Yeah, it does.
Help.
Yeah, you're not. She's not really all that far from you because you're going to come over to
about 20 minutes. Yeah.
And if you can, if you haven't got his details, Paula, forward them to me and I'll forward them to Rick. It's not a problem if you want to send them through tomorrow. If you can get some photos of them and we can bang them through to Rick. If not, contact me and I'll give you Rick's details as long as you're cool with that, Rick.
Yeah.
The email address on the website, wherever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can probably get a microscope to you sometime over the weekend.
Teamwork.
There we go. Claude says, "What size does my single fry need to reach before I transfer to a pond from an aquarium? Bigger than my thumb at the moment. Just big enough to not be a mouthful."
Yeah, normally
big
10
enough not to go down the skimmer.
Yeah, big enough to eat a pellet as well.
10
Yeah.
to 12 centimetre would probably be the minimum, wouldn't it? Ideally
At least
15.
then it's not going to get yammed on by another bigger fish if you've got bigger stock as well.
And depending on the pellet size, what you're feeding your other fish, you've got to be able to eat what you're feeding.
Oh God, I've just realised something. I've got to buy another 3 sacks of food because I need the small pellet for the toes eye. Oh shit!
How much are they? 200 quid a sack?
Well, the colour's 250 and the growth's about 200, I think, each, something like that. I think the sinking's a bit more because it's 20 kilos opposed to 15 because it's denser, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am actually there's an amazing guy. I'm not going to mention any names or anything at the moment, but there's a Dutch guy who supplies quite a lot of food to certain places in the UK. I met him 2 years ago in the National. Amazing guy. He was just really quiet, and then obviously I showed him the mosquito, and he opened up a little bit, and we had a good conversation. And then he said, "Oh," I said, "Are you showing? Are you a hobbyist or anything like that?" He goes, No. He goes, "I've got a food company." He goes, "I supply these foods to these places." I said, "Oh, right, it's a brilliant." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's not just koi food." He goes, "The koi industry for me is only 2% of my whole company. The rest is sort of like, like salmon farms and stuff like that." And he goes, "But even the koi industry like turns over like 2 million or something like that." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I've been buying the drinks all night. I was furious, right? And anyway, we've been, every time we see each other, we bump into each other all the time in all the different koi shows. And he's over in Japan at the moment, and he was saying one of the clients he's over there with is one of my subscribers, and he asked, I can't remember what he asked. Oh, about my Blue Lab Guardian. He goes, he's seen my Blue Lab Guardian. He was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I just, and he goes, "Oh, thanks." And then he says, "How are you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Listen," I said, "when we're going to talk about making a Koi Soldiers food line." And he goes, "I'll phone you up when I get back to Holland." And I was like, "Oh, that's good." So hopefully a little colour and growth mix might be on the cards at some point.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Koi rations, I'll have to call it.
Koi rations.
But it depends, because I know, because we were talking, and I'm not sure if he uses a lot of fish meal. I'm not sure if it's poultry based or whatever, which obviously wouldn't really be of interest to me. But like, obviously, if he's got the means to be able to produce this food, that is just an ingredient that he's got to use instead of something else, isn't it? So we'll see. I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but I'd love to maybe do something like that. It'd be a bit of fun, like, wouldn't it?
If it works, does the job.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, mate, like over in Japan, Odakan has started to make food, and it's meant to be amazing. Like next level good. Like all the breeders over in Japan now are all using like Odakan color food and stuff like that. It's meant to be really good. So I'm hoping at some point that will come to the UK.
Yeah. What's the difference kind of like for over there with them, with the Sakai Akari? Are they paying the prices that we're paying over here?
No, God, no.
Do
you know what? That would have been
more readily available and used a heck of a lot over there. More like
it's
us using coppers over here.
It's what was it, like the color is 250 quid a sack over here, and I know that's not the dealers being greedy over there. There's hardly any markup on sake at the moment, is there? It's like really a tiny amount. Well, Anthony will tell you, but over in Japan, you can just go to the wholesales, mate, and pick it. Ooh, what's that? Oi!
He's advertising you.
That's nice.
Play me.
But on
This is bought me the odd hoodie. Fucking hell, ain't you tidied up or something, Lee?
what's that?
Tidied up, lad.
Am I what?
Have you not tidied up?
Why?
Hide in the darkness.
Mate, like you're in a
I
fucking
am in the
OP.
darkness. Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Dates this evening, everyone. Nice to see a
Let me
Welshman in the
oh
dark.
no, I like it in the dark, mate. This is my OP.
It's his best light. Catches his side.
What was you
Profiles
saying?
in the
Food?
Oh yeah, we're talking about food. About
Mark, you
Odecan has got some new food over there, isn't he?
Yeah. Apparently, speaking to the breeders over there, they're using a mixture of sake and this food as well.
Yeah,
So it's looking
Yeah.
quite good. Yeah.
Most
I
of
don't
the
know if get some over here though.
I'd love,
it's the cost of shipping, isn't it?
yeah, I'd love another good food to come over here. Do you know what I mean? Because really, only sake akari has got really the ingredients that you'd really want to feed your koi if you can afford it. Do you know what I mean? But I just wish there was something else as well to have a little play around with.
Yeah, so you could trial something against something else.
Yeah. And there was another one that Yamaguchi was on about. Let me just try to. Oh, if I come off, it's going to go. But it's so Yamaguchi was telling me all the three foods he uses, and there was another brand. So there was a sake, there was Odakans, and there was another one called Nijikawawa or something like that. It's an American one, but you can't get it anywhere in this country. I tried to get it last night, but it was just like it's like 44 kilos for like $200 or something. So it worked out quite a lot cheaper as well, really, than sake.
But sake, a lot of what you're paying is the transport costs and stuff, isn't it?
Exactly.
For bringing it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's literally half price in Japan, I reckon.
Yeah, about that, I'd say.
I'd say literally half price, yeah. Which then is only the equivalent of like a really good dog food, isn't it? I wish, oh God, I wish you could do that.
I mean, you see sake knocking around, sake balance. I've seen shitloads of that everywhere.
Mm.
Absolutely
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, they seem to love balance, don't they, over there?
Yeah, the floating ANC just said 57 quid on the shelf over there, 15 kg floating balance.
What in Japan? 57 quid.
That's a big difference, isn't it, in comparison
Yeah,
to
oh,
regular?
huge.
Yeah, but
How much is a 15 kg of balance here?
Well, you over here, balance is 199.99.
Yeah.
200 smackers.
But over there, the yen's so cheap, you can fucking pick a car up for a £5.
Yeah. Oh mate, don't. Did you see that Subaru Impreza that I wanted to buy for $5,000?
Oh mate, get in there.
Mate, if I end up going to Japan more than 3 times a year, I'm buying a Subaru Impreza. I am going to be the fastest man in the Yamakoshi Mountains. Let's go.
You'll be drifting around corners and bends with a big arch.
Koi trips, let's go. Boom.
Well, I guess to the point though, if you were going regular away and you got somewhere you could leave it for a couple of weeks between each visit, kind of thing, it'd be worthwhile buying a vehicle out there, wouldn't it?
100%. And I was asking Atsushi over there. You have a I'm sure it's every 2 years you have an MOT there, that's not too bad, really, is it?
No, not at all. Wow.
Well, not an MOT. They call it something else probably, but like every 2 years, yeah. But mate, you can get like like old 90s Skylines, Subarus, Imprezas, Evos. They're all there. Do you know what I mean? Like all the cool Jap cars, and you think to yourself, "Oh, mate, it'd be so good fun."
I prefer the Matchbox cars, man. To be perfect.
Yeah, Yamaguchi's Lego car. I love that.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're literally like micro machines.
All 4-wheel drive as well. They're amazing. Unless I've got my sticker on them, and then it instantly 5-wheel drive.
Fucking mate, I was driving from one breeder to another, and just in front of me, this breeder pulls in. It's like the only reason I knew it was a fucking breeder. There's Twat Face's fucking sticker on the back of it, right in the middle of the back between the lights. Fucking yeah.
Get your name. Get his merch out there, isn't it?
Like, I know where he's been simply by his fucking emblem. It's great. It's good.
The hardest one is Otsuka, isn't it? He's a bugger, mate. He doesn't like any stickers, but I put one on there that he hasn't seen it yet. It was there for a few days, wasn't it? And his apprentice was like that. It's still there. It's still there. I said, good man. Only because Otsuka's 4 foot tall and I put it right in the top, he can't reach it.
DT Coy's asked you a question, Lee, but I don't know what he's referring to because he's as good as our Dave at narrowing it down a little bit. Question for Lee, if you don't mind, how much did they cost? How much did what cost? Are you guessing
he's probably on about the toes that I bought. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to comment, to be honest, because my mum might be watching.
So I got my invoice 2 days ago.
Uh-oh.
Still got a job?
I spent 110% more than my budget.
Are you still going back on Monday?
Well, I got my shipment in today, mate. So
it is, mate.
You still need someone to sell them, doesn't he?
As long as he's not told you to pick up your P45, you're all good, mate, aren't you? You got away with it.
The proof's in the pudding, mate. It's like the dollars start rolling in. I want 20%.
Big shipment, wasn't it? It's quite a big shipment, mate.
Yeah, about 40 boxes I had.
I heard the best merchandise made it across, though, changed hands.
Yeah, I managed to. So last week I bought, if those that were watching seen that, I had to go Toys R Us to try and find some Pokemon cards for Rick's boy. And they literally, they ration Pokemon cards over there. So you can only get 1 pack per person.
Yeah.
Right? And it took me about half hour to even locate them. They don't do like boxes of Pokemon cards near the till or a little aisle. They are literally a piece of cardboard with a Velcro back stuck to a fucking wall. And it's like, but they like all that sort of stuff. So there was this big picture board, and I was like, looking, love that one. So anyway, after last week, Rick bought the calendar, and I spoke to him. He said, just post them down the calendar. And then when you post the calendar, they'll be there. I was like, yeah, cool, man. So I put everything in me bag in my car, got into the office, opened my bag, got the calendar. Where's these fucking Pokemon cards? So I was shitting myself because I knew I was going to break an 8-year-old boy's heart. It was like set on Japanese Pokemon cards. So I literally ripped the office apart, and I started to think people had fucking picked them up. And I was just like being a bit sus, looking at folk just to see if there was like fucking dodge. And then 3 days later, I found them in the car. They fell out the bag when I picked my bag up. One for that. So yeah, have you got them yet? Or
no, they're. I was meeting him at the weekend. It's like it's hard to get drugs, mate. Changing hands.
But I left a message for you, mate. If there's anything in there that's like comes in for 16K, good luck, but I want 50% back.
I'll tell him.
Yeah, you mean if there's any big cards in there?
Yeah.
Any big premium ones?
Yeah, mate. There's a good chance. You never know, do you?
No? Who knows, mate?
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, thank you very much. So hopefully, he'll get them.
Yeah. So, I got told that the calendar might not make it to yours either, mate. Just so you know.
Is that one of the Denichi ones?
No, that went to somebody on here. The other one's hanging in my office, but
yeah, those Denichi ones are really nice, aren't they? Like they're sort of like they're really cool. But I was going to keep one of them, but I never use them. Because I've got my tattoo diary. Everything's written in that, so I just don't use calendars. Do you know what I mean?
I don't use them either, but the pictures are lovely.
You know the nice little Denichi ones, the little ones that go on like your desktop.
Like a desktop one that you took over to.
I gave that to a raffle. Like
James Guy Whisperer's job.
Yeah, really nice they were.
I just said that. I've got it here. Look, I forgot that.
Yeah.
I could raffle. I might auction that off. No, not yet. I'll think about it.
Quick question for Lee there. What did he think to Kinrin Ryan purchased?
To what the what?
Kinrin.
Yeah, which one?
Which one? That says it all.
Yeah, there's probably narrow it down a little bit for us, Eric. If you've got any more info, we'll see if we can get him to pin down an answer for you.
Ryan purchased quite a few fish over there. I'm just trying to think which one that could have been. It wasn't in Akoi because like he wouldn't let any of his bloody stuff go out of sight, would he? So where else would that have been then? I can't think. I'll wait till he comes back.
Was it the was there one in Otsuka?
Yeah, what was it? I can't remember. Hang on now. Was it the Kiyotsuri? I can't remember, mate. There were so many fish past my eyes. I haven't got a bloody clue.
You see, I bet you got koi. I bet you get koi blind after looking at so many, though, don't you? When you're
honestly, like it's mad, mate. It is crazy how many fish pass, you know, in front of your eyes, like and yeah, you get quicker. Like Ryan's really good. You go over there, he'll be filtering through fish. And I go, "Wow, why have you like culled that one away?" And he goes, "Oh, because of that." And he'll mention something like one gill plate is not closing properly, and like that'll stick in my head then, and then I'll look all day for that one problem, and then you train your eye, and then before you know it, when you're looking at fish, you always refer to the problems that he's told me about, and you hit, it's like little datum points. So you look at a fish, you go, "That's nice," and then automatically you look at the gill plates and all the bits and bobs. It's sort of like it sticks into your head. Then it's sort of almost like I don't know, like a habit to do it.
You
Not
spot
that you
a
like
fish
to.
that you think's nice, and you go, "Oh yeah," and then you go for your little mental checklist, and then bastard.
Yeah, but it is almost mental. I suppose it's like being a koi judge, where they teach you how to like look up a fish, down a fish. You're looking for certain things, and I suppose a koi judge in a show will be looking at a fish, being trained how to look at a fish to be able to judge it. But then when he's looking at his own fish, or when he's going to like a koi shop just to have a little day away, he can't help but do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like embedded in him,
Chris Taylor has asked us a quick question. Is cowpox just in the fins, or can it be anywhere? It can be anywhere, mate.
Anyway,
it can actually even cover the whole body if they get it severe enough.
Yeah, I've got a Deutsch shower here. When it was a tozai, it was covered, and I'd never seen anything like it before. And yeah, koi pox, mate. It's like candle wax over the skin.
So yes,
My achiever did say, mate. It started with just a small little patch, just left of the dorsal, and then eventually, by the time it had done, it had covered the whole body. It was right, even to the point where it was getting on its gill plates, to the point inside it that the gill plates couldn't close. It was a mess.
Here's an interesting thing. I bought a Danichi Showa male off Rick about 2 years ago. It was 44 cm, I think, or when I picked it up, then it was 46 cm, I think. Lovely fish, nice fish. Showed it like 2 years ago in the National, done okay. Then I showed it in the Newark, done okay, and then kept it in my pond. And bear in mind now, my pond has never been under 24 degrees in the last 3 years or 2 years since like I've had the old pond and the new pond. And a shower is mad because a shower has almost got like a disruptive military pattern. It's like a DPM, isn't it? It can hide loads of things. So if it's got like problems with a shower, because it's tri-colored, it's quite hard to pinpoint what's wrong with it. So anyway, before the National last year, I thought, all right, okay, check the fish over. Which ones am I going to take? And I noticed the Danichi Showa was like littered, like, mate, the fins all over the face, even like underneath the mouth there. It was like big, looked like warts, like dripping nodule warts, like, and it was cowpox. And I phoned Ryan up and I said, mate, I said, look at the state of this. And he goes, oh, He goes, right, yeah. He goes, that is a bad case of carp pox. He goes, and I mean, they were everywhere, right? Big, hanging off him, right? And he goes, the only thing I can suggest really is like raising your salt level up quite high for a short period of time. He goes, I've seen that happen before. And I thought, all right, okay, well, whatever. I might try it in the future. So I didn't take that to the national. Came back from the national last year because of the temperature fluctuations in the national. If you can remember, when I got the fish back, I had raised scales. I had made loads of problems with the fish, really hard to settle them back in. And I decided then to like put my salt up to about 0.7 or 0.8, right? So I put like, God, I don't know, like 100 kilos of salt in the pond, right? And it raised it right up and didn't really take any paying attention to the shower because that's not why that particular fish wasn't why I raised the salt content. Look at the other fish then healed up fine. And then I don't know, like a month later or something, I looked at the shower and it was totally cured. Nothing on it at all, not even a blemish. And it's never have carp
It's never come back.
Never come back. Bonkers, isn't it? Can you remember that, Crafty? You came down and
Yeah, when I was
everywhere, wasn't it? It's like littered.
It was
And I
mad.
thought, well, I'm just gonna have to give that away. And who's gonna want it? Because it looks like John Merrick, you know. and now it's banging. I can't wait to take it to the shows this year.
See, I always thought it was. Did you put the heat up in the pond at the same time when you put the
No,
salt?
it was the same. So I dropped it down to 21 degrees before the national, and then straight back up to 24. Yeah, honestly, it was nothing to do with the heat. It just had it.
Normally, they always say warmer waters they're not don't normally come out as much, do it? So.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. Unless it wasn't carpox, but I'm pretty sure it was carpox because even Ryan came down to see it and went, "Oh yeah, he's got a horrible scabby mouth. Looks like he's been chewing on something that yeah, whatever."
Guys,
And I said, Ryan, it was not been chewing on me, pal.
if you, I've only got a couple of Saki calendars left. But yeah, message. I've been trying to write on there, but it can't get through the firewall. Basically, if you DM me on Facebook through Perfect Aquatics, I'll tell you how to pay for the postage fee, and I'll get them sent out because we're coming in. Well, we're in March now, so I'd rather get them out and used.
Yeah,
I've only got a couple left though, so.
Chris Taylor's put Sealy's recent koi talk on Ikari and FD feed. Thoughts? Question.
Is that to me?
Did
I put that on koi talk?
These questions are getting rather confusing, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I did. I
called
talk
FD,
about
isn't there?
FD. I don't
food.
think I don't know much about FD food, to be honest.
Yeah, I watched it. I'd have to agree with Rick if I'm honest. I mean, it seems to have a huge marketing hype over here at the moment. There's a lot being moved out, and I never see. I don't know if you did, Lee, but I didn't see any FD food bags in any of the breeders' houses.
No,
Not one.
no.
Eric's come back with a question. The one that got second price in the show, it's from Wada. That's the fish that he was talking about, the Kinrin, was it?
The Kinrin one from Wada. I can't remember, mate. I can't remember. Tell him try to screenshot the fish and send it to me on a DM. I can't remember
There
that
we
one. Yeah.
Done.
It's just like that. No.
Rick wouldn't be able to do that, man. He's shit.
I'd still be looking for my old Polaroid camera.
Right, let's see if we've got any. There we go. I'll agree with that one. Thank you very much, mate. Only 41 likes. Come on, guys. There's 134 of you. It should say 134 every week. It's the same people that come back, but forget to hit that little thumbs up. Give us a bit of a boost if you can. I'll help push the channel further in its algorithm. Claude's put in there, what is the longest time anyone stayed in a shop deciding which koi to choose, or gone in wanting a sanky and come home with a lemon harawaki?
Happens a lot.
Yeah, we get
The
a lot of
longest
people.
time you spent in a shop making your mind up.
Yeah,
And have you we're looking for something and come out with something totally different.
Before I started working at Perfect, how long would I stay in a shop looking at the fish? About 3 hours. 3 or 4 hours I'd be in there studying.
We have
Like
got
Rain
I
Man.
This is because I remember she used to get pissed off and go and sit in the car.
in every back of your mind though, if you so we done it down at Rick's, me and Daz. Well, Daz spotted one, and I was like, "Yeah, mate, that's nice." That, and we well, I'm saying we and ahhed, didn't we? We went round and had a look at smells. We come back and we had another look at it, and we must have been a good hour and a half, weren't we, Daz? And we literally come back. A man and lady that were stood outside of us bought fish. We've already got a chance, like, but it were a belting little fish that were nice.
Yeah.
I've missed a few times by second guessing myself on fish that I really did like and not got the opportunity to buy.
Yeah.
But I have gone out with the intentions of buying a Sankey and came home with platinum Ogon. So completely the opposite to what I actually went to get. But if I could ever get the damn thing to grow, it would be all right. But I need to start wanging a lot more food.
The worst thing is, man, when you're in a shop and the customer nabs you and you're talking them through what they're looking at, and then they're looking at something else, and then they fuck off without even buying it, and you've been with them an hour.
Yeah.
That's the worst, man.
You just need a sign crafter saying, all my customers make me smile. Some when they enter, others when they leave.
Oh, no, it's like, you just think, yeah, they're going to buy that. They're going to buy
No, and then they're not.
They don't. It's like, fair enough. I don't mind. It's just like
sometimes though it's that little bit
else.
it's just a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. I'm tempted to get it, and then you start thinking it over in your head. Well, what if it dies? And that's it. At that point, then you're screwed, aren't you?
Yeah,
I've never done that.
You start doubting yourself. You've done.
I've never done that. What I done, mate, was got the missus on board saying, "Look how good that is," and then she pays for it for you.
Yeah.
Just taking it as a family,
with your money.
Then she calls it her fish, but then never fucking feeds it.
But the thing is,
with my cup of tea, Kelly.
If I did the same thing, my pond would be empty because she's got zero interest in fish.
Are you coming up on the 9th, Lee?
Well, yeah, I've got that Tamasabra event up in Sidcup on the 9th. I've got Wolf Boy that day, that weekend. So he's going to play with Bobby up there with that's Kevin's son, who's the same age. And then, yeah, I don't know whether to come straight back to Wales or whether to pop up to you, like, do you know what I mean?
Come up, mate. Come up to the
Is
shop.
that for the official opening weekend?
For what?
But you just asked Lee if he's coming up.
Well,
on
yeah,
the
because
He was going to come up here.
Right,
yeah. But he was coming past the shop. But the 8th is the official opening weekend for the golf course.
Yeah.
Oh, so it will be open on the 9th then?
Yeah.
It's been a mile long by then.
Yeah, so I could come up. Might get a little hotel up by you somewhere.
All the Glazers will be in by the 9th.
Oh, mate, it's looking good now, mate. I tell you. At least seen it.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah, it looks like an episode of Lost, doesn't it?
Yeah, without the fucking weirdness. That's the only.
Yeah, without the polar bears.
Yeah, and the
You
rustling.
could stick a polar bear in there. Do you know what? I might come up and hide one of my stickers somewhere.
Do it
Inside the cockpit.
You can find it, look.
In the crashed plane.
As the crashed aeroplane got a windscreen. Yeah, boy.
Do it. It'd be good.
I might have a round of crazy golf when the place is closed with my mosquito out.
That would be crazy golf.
Yeah, mate. Just don't do it when the kids are about, mate.
Of course not, mate. I've got etiquette. But when Pete would love it. I reckon me and Pete could have a mosquito off.
So he's got more of a trunk than a mosquitoes.
Yeah, I've got a mosquito. He's got more of a horsefly look about him.
Simon Shears says he's just noticed today his mains water is 15 kh. Wish mine were. Mine's lucky if it's 1. Shit.
Yeah, mine's looking if it's. I thought I had a kh of 1.8, but it's way less than that. I don't know whether it's just it's changed in the last 12 months or not. But
yeah,
my fish don't really care.
Not last season before it was 7 all the time, and I'd been all the time I've had a pond, and then last year it just dropped, and it's gone. It's 1 or less than. You know, if you're testing with the drops, there's no real way to know. But
really, what was that?
Yeah, it's garbage, mate. Absolutely shocking. I have to buy carb up.
Does it taste like shit as well?
I only drink it with coffee, so I'm not a fan of water.
I literally had to put 2 mugs of bicarb in literally about 10 minutes before I came on live now, because I was down to my pH was down to 6.7. But I noticed when I was in Japan, obviously I had a random death in the pond. Like one of my Sankeys just died. Nothing to do with the pond parameters or anything, or any long-term illness of that particular fish. It just died, right? That was it. So because my sister was looking after the fish, I said, Jane, I said, just turn the auto feeder off just in case. Do you know what I mean? In case there was a buildup of ammonia or something, just turn that off. I said they can have a week off the food. That's not going to harm them. I came back, man. If I don't put food in, my pH in my pond is 7.2 and it never changes at all. And as soon as I put my auto feeder on, and I'm getting nearly 2 kilo of food going in a day, I got to put half a mug of bicarb in a day. Easy, half a mug.
Your bacteria uses kH to reproduce, doesn't it? So
yeah, it's unbelievable how much that food will drop it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so yours will be hammering it when you're feeding heavy because your bacteria is doing a good job.
Yeah.
When they make their food for you, Lee, you need to put chalk in it. One of your main ingredients. Yeah, chalk out that hard, so it'd be in the system then. So your special diet will buffer itself. Sorted.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. That's what I should actually do, is just tip a load of bicarb into my auto feeder, so that'll just keep dosing it itself.
Yeah.
I was gonna invest in a load of oyster shells to try 20 or 30 kilo of oyster shells, see if that will make a difference. I don't know.
It's a lot of space, though, isn't it? A lot of real estate.
It is, but I've got the perfect place to, in my bio chamber, if you can remember back when I built it, I've got a pump internally inside that bio chamber, haven't I? And it's in a stainless steel grid.
Yeah, in that cage thing.
Yeah, in a cage thing. That is just not used. So I could fill that up to the brim with oyster shells, and all the water that gets dragged through that grid will just all go, filter through those oyster shells.
I think the speed they dissolve those is so slow. What you need, you probably struggle.
Yeah, maybe something more.
Help enough. You're literally maxing out that little bit of water you've got. I know it's a big pond, but you're putting 2 kilos into quite a small volume. You're you might struggle a bit. It would help, but
yeah, that's it. I think that's the only struggle I got in my pond, really, is just trying to keep that pH and KH stable, and I just think it's impossible until there's a machine invented that will constantly monitor that and constantly dose it. Like, obviously I have got a doser from Blue Lab, but it's not man enough to be able to do its job on my volume pond. Do you know what I mean? And my pond is not exactly a massive. I suppose it's a good sized pond, but it's not massive. Do you know what I mean?
No, but running like you do at 24 with that amount of food in that environment, you're on quite
nail the hell out of it constantly.
Yeah.
Works good though, mate. The pond is working really good. Like it's coping with that food, no problem whatsoever. I get no the water quality is like fine, like considering there's 2 kilo food going in a day.
Are you buying the bicarb in the massive sacks of it then?
Yeah, so I'll buy like a 20 kilo sack.
20 kilo bag from it, yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
not
food
expensive,
grade.
mate. Were they like a tenner or something like that?
It's next to
not a lot.
no, isn't it, really, for what it is, about 10, 11 quid?
Yeah, I've got no problems with buying it to go in. It's just a pain putting it in all the time. Obviously, not that I want to do the hobby and do nothing and just watch the fish, but like I just wish I could keep it stable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be better for the fish, but difficult.
So what were you saying there, Rick? Then with the chalk, adding chalk instead of.
Well, you can basically, yeah, you carbonate well, so you can incorporate into the diet. When they make the food, they can put calcium into the food. They can put chalk into the food. They can, so you can actually buffer for places that have got very soft water. You could actually put it into the fish's diet, and obviously they excrete some of that ends up into the biochambers and does what you need it to do.
But how do you gauge what volume you need on that, Rick?
Well, you don't. You just, at the end of the day, if it's in the food, it will go into the system. If it's too much, your water will get harder and harder, wouldn't it? But we used to dump chalk into the ponds. You know, we get crushed chalk, big lorry load in, and just slowly dissolves. Its pH is 7.5. It's just you get, if you put enough in, you might get a little bit of lime scale build up on the liners or whatever. But it's better for us to be stable than it is to have fluctuations.
Yeah, it's all relative, mate, isn't it?
It is all relative.
It is.
It's what you need.
I found with mine, I'm having to put about 200. Well, before I could do about 200 grams a fortnight, but now I'm having to do about 200 grams a week to keep mine where it needs to be. Well, where I like it to be, between 7 and 8. No, it's just one small little pot, little 200 grams of it. Boom, just sprinkle it into return as it flows in. I mean, I used to go to trouble to mix it into water, and then pour it in with a bucket and all that lot. But now I just when I saw the likes of Dainichi and a couple of others where they were salting the ponds, and they literally walked over with a massive tub and just went, "Fuck off, in you go." There's no more now. I'm not worrying about putting in the odd small little amount like that.
Mate,
you see them putting half a lorry load in, and you think you're even stirring it in, just straight in there. Yeah,
and the salt they use. The salt they use is not even the granulated stuff. The salt is like big crystals.
Big chunky stuff. Yeah, they were shoving it in
like sugar cubes, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, but if you think about it, if I've got to salt my pond up to like 0.3, I've got to put I think 75 kilos of salt in. That's like 3 of the big sacks, right? And you can't dissolve that into water and put it into the pond.
Well,
and
there's
also,
only so much
if you
into water, it only absorbs so much, and then it's just that's it. You can't take anymore. So you've got to tip that out and then put more water in and keep working through it. Like that's a pain.
And also if you could dilute like 75 kilograms of salt into a solution and put that into the pond all in a wanna, that's a massive change, isn't it, solidity wise and thing. But if you pour it right in and it just settles on the bottom and it'll slowly release and slowly dissolves that way, I think it's the safest way to do it, as long as you don't actually physically pour it on them. They get out the way, they're not stupid, are they? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's quite mad when you do pour 4 or 5 sacks in there, because it goes across the bottom. And all the water just changes.
It's bonkers. It gets like that weird haze, isn't it? And you're like,
oh my God. You can see it coming through the surface of water.
Yeah. But like 75 kilos of salt in your pond, mate. It is like bonkers, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does a good job though, doesn't it? But everybody else, a lot of people don't really want to use salt. They're always scared of salt or thinking, they're not salt fish, we don't put it in. Oh shit, wrong way.
Salt is,
but you saw a benefit of using salt this time when we can give you a bit of advice, and it sorted out your fish. You don't salt, Crafter.
Yeah, I do now, mate. I never used to, but then working down at Perfect at the scale we do, when you get a problem, salt is your best mate. Salt and heat fucking cures so much. It just really helps fish cure themselves, man. And the speed of recovery is huge in comparison to not having it. It's brilliant.
This will bring us on to a topic on one of the questions that we've been asked, because it actually mentions it in this actual question. Mike Bass has asked, is there any recommendations for a tonic or treatment for a koi that may have suffered long-term gill damage in the past? Aware of the use of salt to aid osmosis, but is there anything else other than salt that can help aid a fish that's had long-term gill damage? And I'm guessing by long-term gill damage is either going to be talking gill flukes.
No, I
mean, the reason why I asked that is I'm still seeing like
necessarily that, mate. But what they will right themselves eventually. If it's too damaged, then the chances are it will stay damaged. I can stand corrected on that, but my knowledge is that
they do regenerate, but they're slow out.
But it's very slow. Yeah, there's not anything you can do, but that I'm aware of that you can reverse that and make it any better. The fish will come back from it. I've had a few fish down at the shop where when you check the gills, you can see they're browned off and they're not doing too well. And again, salt and heat, and make sure you get like a lot of dehydration happens that sort of way. Believe it or not, a fish can dehydrate. Heat, salt, and food, good food, will help it recover. And I'm not an expert on that. It's just experience, and bearing in mind, I do quite a lot of research to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and I ask the right people. And what I'm told was what I've just shared, So as far as I'm aware, there's no way of speeding that up.
I know when Rick helped me and told me to salt bath them too, and I was like, really, that amount? And he went, yeah, it's either going to make or break it for him. I lost the butterfly, which I've mentioned before, but the Matsukawabaka, prior to that fish were coming to surface a lot, and we'd got gill flukes. Once we'd got rid of that and knocked them back off the fish, I trekked the pond and I got rid of it. But prior to it was always topping and surfacing like it was struggling to breathe all the time. Now,
what they do is it
knackers them, doesn't it?
To jet to push
to like push them off.
Yeah.
But when it still continued to do it, but nowhere, it's only every blue moon that it does it now. And I was just wondering if that's from the damage that the gill fluke did, as to whether or not it's still, or whether or not we've got gill flukes.
The only way you're going to find that out, mate, is if you get your fish out and you do an inspection.
Yeah.
Pull the gill back.
You don't want to be taking them out when it's that cold for doing a scrape. When it's like 3 and 4 degrees. I've noticed it doing it again the other day, and I thought, shit, here we go. We're going back down lines of flukes again. So it'd be something good to start season off.
It takes half a second to do a gill check. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not going to stress it out that much that you're going to really make any sort of adverse sort of reaction. Yeah. It's like worth doing, mate. It's better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah. Only time I spot. Well, it wasn't this evening. It was yesterday evening when I was looking out a window and I was talking with Jeff, and I said, "Hey, Jeff, that fish is doing it again." And then I watched for like 10 minutes, looking down over top of the pond, and I thought, "Oh, hang about. There's 1 or 2 in there that are flashing." So this weekend, or tomorrow, if I'm not got nothing to do, I'll be giving them a few a scrape. But it's temperatures again, though, isn't it?
Is it? So is it an odd flash, mate? Is it at a time where you don't normally see your pond because your parameters change, and fish will flash when parameters change in the water?
Well, this was particularly well. It were 4:30, 4:45ish, and I normally see my fish every evening at that time. I haven't been feeding because they've all been grouped up a little bit, but today they were looking a little bit, so they got a little bit this morning, and everything seems all right today. I haven't seen any sign of any flashing. It were almost what made me think actually what it could have been is in the morning, first thing yesterday morning, they were all grouped up. It was pretty cold. We got a little bit of not a frost, but a hard ground again. So I thought That's a bit chilly. I'll have a look at everybody. Shoot myself at first and all because I thought one of my fish were missing, and then realised it were one of the New Forest koi double-hard bastards down at Bubbles pecking around. In return, while everybody else is clamped up, New Forest koi fish is cruising around on its own. So I thought, thank God that's not disappeared. So I checked them out. They were all down at bottom group 2. And then when I came back home, obviously it's warmed up fruit day because it were a nice warm day yesterday. It were pretty good. So then they're all having a bit of a flick around. It just made me wonder, now with you saying that, if something different had changed, water slightly warmed up a little bit, and they've all got a little bit more active, that they all just had a bit of a flick and a rub just to...
If it's not constant, mate, it's not a problem, is it?
Yeah. Well, I've come home tonight, had a look, and seen nothing. There were no sign of out doing out like that today. But I suppose if I have a good look at them, keep my eye on them over the weekend and have a double check on them, we'll see what's what. We'll see. There's another one. Start off the season with a bang. We'll go straight in with flukes and parasite treatments, no doubt. But quick question from DT. Question for Rick. Now you're open on summer hours. We jumped a whole season. I was going to say, now you're open on summer hours. When will the new koi be added to your website? Question. But you're not open on summer hours, are you?
We're being added every day, at least once a week, if not twice a week. Vince is there adding fish half the time, isn't he? Well, he picks some to add, and then some of them never make it because they're off to his house or wherever.
What was that one on it? I should have asked you, Vince. Sorry, mate. I mean, I will do as well. But what was the one? I'm guessing it's one of yours. What that almost looks green.
It's an odd colour. It's like a Gin Deutz Matsuba, but it's instead of silver, it's a limey, yellowy.
Yeah, that's a bit of something different, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah, but it's gone now, isn't it? So.
Another one there then from Life Around the Koi Pond. Question for the panel. What is best, moving bed or static bed for growing bacteria, good bacteria?
Simple.
Moving bed. Static bed is more of for pulling crap and shit out, I would have said. Yeah. Static bed allows everything to be pulled out and drawn out through it. Moving allows the good bacteria and any dead bacteria to be knocked off, bumped off, freeing up space for new bacteria to take form and grow and latch back on and keep on producing and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling.
And the oxygen helps it reproduce faster as well.
Yeah. So moving bed, definitely 100% for your bacteria, mate. Your static bed is more of a mechanical filter system, I believe. Am I right?
Yeah, a static bed will mature a lot faster. So if you want to mature, if it's a new pond, if you've got K1 static, you'll mature it a lot quicker than moving. That's just because it traps shit, and obviously it allows the bacteria then to get going. Once it's mature, moving bed's better at removing ammonia and such like. So again, there's horses for courses.
Would you say then, Rick, to start up a new pond, start off with a static bed and then add your air?
I'd leave the K1 static, to actually start trapping a bit of shit and just getting that bacteria.
Initial kickstart.
Yeah, just a foam will mature a lot faster than a plastic media. Something that traps the shit. Obviously, it's a lot easier for the bacteria to colonize and get living in.
Yeah,
quite simply, new K1 in a moving bed is an absolute pig to mature properly.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
It's fucking forever.
Yeah.
So by either making that K1 static, so it's just easier to be colonized. But once the trouble with a static bed is water then starts finding the easier route through it, so it doesn't
get dead spots.
For a while, it doesn't filter quite as well because the water's always trying to find the easiest route. So that's when a moving bed becomes much more effective.
So it's a bit of both then, really, isn't it? It's effective to start it and kick it off, get it matured, and then get it moving.
Yeah.
Or you can use multiple. But the systems we've just put in that tunnel, I mean, they incorporate all of them. I've got static sections, I've got moving bed sections, and I've got trickle towers and anaerobic sections. I've got everything to do different
Explain the difference between a trickle and a shower, Rick. What is
Well,
it you're going to
need the volume of water you need for a shower, and you need it multi-tiered. The whole thing is you're breaking the water into almost separate particles through a multiple sheared. Momentary is one of the first to do it properly. All the ones you see before that are really trickle towers or trickle filters, where it's going down through in a much slower rate, and that's where you get a slightly different effect. If you're using a proper shower, you're actually degassing. Ammonia will be coming out as gas.
Yeah.
Nitrates will be coming out as nitrogen as gas. You're actually degassing the water through, but the water volume you've got to move is beyond most people's pumps. It's quite
that's 20,000 litres an hour, isn't it, or something like that?
It's quite mental
question. It's like people say in the shop quite a lot. When they're misinformed or misunderstood that you buy a 3-tier system, for example, and they think they've got a backy shower, but then they're only running a 10,000 litre pump through it,
which then makes it a trickle shower.
And it's like, well, no, you need 30,000.
Yeah, they recommend 20 plus, don't they, for them?
Yeah, and people don't understand that concept. So, well, what's the difference? And just getting people to understand the flow of the water through that media is the key to the different types of bacteria and the different effect that you're going to achieve by doing so.
Isn't the difference between them anaerobic and aerobic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll incorporate, or I will in mine, areas that most people would cringe at. Dirty, skanky, low flow, low oxygen areas in my filtration, and that's to remove it. Just the cycle goes backwards, so you're removing the phosphates and the nitrates through doing that.
Yeah,
but it's not something most people ponds you'd need to worry about, or it's only when you're using higher stock levels and you're not using a lot of fresh water. You need a way of combating that, and that's the way we can do it. But the vast majority of the filtration is aerobic. It is with lots of oxygen, it is with lots of water movement. But like where I put the chili beds, so there the water's trickling through them super slow. The top of it's quite oxygen rich, but the bottom of those trays is a special smell and a special and it's basically anaerobic, and the water that comes out it's unreal. We can have a system that might have had a 50% water change in 4 years, a couple of 100 kilos of food gone for it, thousands of fish gone for it, and yet the water parameters are absolutely mint. And the only way you can do it is by having all these different types of filtration all just ticking along hand in hand, doing what they need to do. But it's a different most people's koi ponds, you don't need that side of it. Your normal Nexus, drum, whatever filtration you're using is perfectly adequate. You're not putting the food volume through it. Something like Lee's pond's a bit different, where you're putting 2 kilos a day into 4,000 gallons.
5.
Lots of fresh water going through, then you can water change it and you still not got a problem. But if you're keeping that same 4,000 gallons, 5,000 gallons for years, you need a way of reducing those nitrates and phosphates and all those stuff that will build up. And that's where you go into sort of different filtration. Obviously, the plant beds, the plants themselves, the way they all work are all different to your aerobic sections. So that's where Lee's new tomato plant might come in.
Yeah, boy.
There you go.
Tafaguchi red. I don't know.
Fishy tomatoes.
Red chilies.
Tomatoes. Tancho.
You know some of those big
Benny Goy tomatoes.
Beef tomatoes out there. Big
beefsteak, yeah.
Beefsteak tomatoes. Them ones are beastly things. Them you can follow them out and fill them with spag bol on inside.
Tozai.
Yeah, but there's so much more you can do with ponds that I've been doing a bit of research in different wavelengths of light and how the blues and greens actually affect the carp's immune system and colour, how they develop their pigments. And there's certain wavelengths of light that have no effect on them, certain wavelengths of light that have massive effects on them. What affects the pituitary glands, not just day length, but the actual the level of each, whether the blues, the green end of the spectrum affects how there's so much, and you start messing about with different things, and you can,
end up with a green koi.
You can end up with a headache or whatever. But there's feasibility with the new LED lights and stuff that's so low wattage and whatever. You can do different lighting regimes on your pond, extend day length, and give them longer spells of blue and green light to improve pigmentation, improve the immune system, improve the appetite, just from adding a color wavelength of light 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening on your pond, and you can have a chicken.
Another quick question for you then. Sorry, go on, Crafter.
No, I'm done, mate. Sorry, dude.
You mentioned about light there. There's some of that's I've wondered a few times. Like you've got with the what they call the Tempest clear tube. They're making a clear tube now. What got me thinking a little bit with that is that because ideally it's better for the bacteria to have natural light?
No.
Or does it matter about having your moving bed in a, most systems, most drums, like some of them have got a clear perspex lid on them. Now, is that just so you can see it moving, or is that so that you can get a bit of daylight? Because then when you think about it, most people bang them in a shed and it's dark in there anyway.
It's a guilty pleasure to watch a moving bed, isn't it?
That's all. It doesn't have any more benefit.
Moving bed and goes, whoa, that looks amazing.
It's purely aesthetics. And that's it. Nothing. There's no benefit to giving the media light as well to help aid bacterial produce.
Natural light's one of the best bacteria killers there is. UV light is
the darker the better, then really.
So really, you want your filters in dark. You don't want direct sunlight on your filters. That would just encourage algae and decrease your bacterial count. Purely for you, but a Tempest in your shed is not going to let enough strong light in to be a problem.
Yeah, I would. But you see a lot of people that have got Tempests out on the outside of the ponds, side of them. Then they put these sleeves around them just to stop the algae from growth. But it made me wonder. Just wondering if it aided or.
With my Tempest at the back of my pond, before I put a roof and walls around it, I just left it, and I literally got the whole tube just filled up with that sort of that scale of
crap all around.
It was like lava, and as it died off, it come off in flakes, like big slabs. The reason why people cover it is to stop it going fucking green, to be perfectly honest. Nothing more.
You want it clear to see when it's blocking and see it boiling and cleaning, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why you take the jacket off, then you do it that way, But it's
evening, Mo.
Yeah, she just wants to embarrass you, mate.
I'll embarrass her more.
She actually says it there. Yeah. Sweet Acre Koi Farm. I don't even know anything about koi. I'm only doing this to embarrass my uncle.
At least she's honest.
Yeah. Claude says, Lee, we saw the salt in Ryan's boots.
Yeah, he was stealing salt off Yammers. Very, very untrustworthy and very un-Japanese. Yeah, it's my new thing now. Every time Ryan goes into a koi house, so Yamaguchi's koi house was the last koi house we went in on that trip. But next time I go to Japan, every single koi house, he's going to get pockets full of salt. That's my new thing.
Lee Moore's Koi Pond said, Lee, where do you buy your bicarbonate of soda from?
Just off eBay, mate. It's just a food grade bicarbonated soda. Bicarb, yeah, that's it. I just always make sure the salt or anything that goes in my pond is always food grade. You know what I mean? Like human food grade.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get it on Amazon as well, mate. It's cheap.
Yeah, it's
20 kg bag for about 11 quid odd.
Yeah, not expensive at all.
I mean, I know there are shops and people that work in koi shops and stores and what have you, but I've got to say, because it is, and the bicarbonate is just the same product as the ones that you can buy by branded companies.
I think it's Tata. Tata is the brand I use, if that's right.
Yeah. As long
And
as you
then,
buy
and then for the salt,
bicarbonate
is that
you're good.
PVD? Is it PVD salt?
Yeah.
PDV with anti-caking agent.
That's whatever that is. Yeah,
not
cool. Then
table salt.
Yeah, it's got to have the code 357 on it or something. I think.
Any good koi dealer, they sell it.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah.
it's only like 15 quid for 25 kilo, isn't it? Something like that.
It's not, mate. It's gone up.
Well, it's
21.
about 20 quid now, about
21.
Oh, is it?
21 quid odd.
Mm. But I don't stock it here. I just order it when I need to. It comes next day.
It could be. That could be right. KH issues, guys, could be down to all the horrendous rain we've had. Yeah, mate, because we've had some chuffing rain here. We really have. Mike Bass says, cheers, it's a Shinoda 5-year-old female with damaged gills, always gulping, and 6 months now. Kept at 18 degrees C and salt baths. That's the one that is talking about with the recommendations for any tonic treatments for the koi that may be suffering from long-tail gill damage.
Any method to help repair gill damage, Rick?
Not really. It's all to do with just a good environment. But you do find you get the odd female. I had a Shinoda Ginrin show, a female that just nothing to do with its gill damage, just a big fat thing that was forever sticking its head out of the water. Especially when it after spawning, it was always fine. But once it had egged up again, it was always seemed to be, gulping. Just literally sticking its head out of the water as if it's struggling. And just probably carrying just too much in the way of eggs, and in fact, just one of those fish that
Pain in the arse.
Yeah, just a big fat egg carrier, which it's all right when you want eggs. It's not great for going to a show.
With them down the high street sometimes.
Yeah, you spawn it, and it for the next 2 or 3 months, it's absolutely fine. Then it just finishes egging up again, and it just struggling to clear its gills all the time and get more oxygen, but it never had any major problem gill damage wise. It was just, they've only got so much. The surface area of the gills of a fish is the same. So when the fish get bigger, they struggle for oxygen. And if it's a big fat thing, it's probably not as healthy or as good at obtaining oxygen. And they forever seem to be puffing, come and have a load of food, and then well, don't eat so much. You just leave it out. But like people, isn't it? You're different, isn't it? One person walks down, they're out of breath, aren't they?
Jigs asked a question there. It said, Gaz, could it be something to do with the jet wash stones? Maybe washed something into the pond, mate. All those stones were pre-cleaned and jet washed off prior to them even going on the side of the pond. And all that I jet washed off and was algae, which is already in the pond. So I can't see is it making an ounce of difference with that. No chemicals have ever been used through that jet wash. Nothing has ever gone through it other than literally straight water. So the amount that I got in, minimal. I would very much doubt that algae would affect. I very much doubt that algae would affect ponds, especially when I've seen the likes of the Munger pond, which was when you put your arm in it, literally turns your arm green.
What are you saying?
Just that your water were green. Other than that, mate, nothing.
Off the scale, mate. Off the scale. People worry about certain stuff, and yeah.
And to be completely honest, mate, I literally put in brand new filter floss, and instead of normally I just cut a piece and then double it up and pop it in the little trickle towel that I have, which is basically just my little polishing filter. And that instead of putting in 2 layers, I put in 4 layers, and by the following morning, it's all gone. It was crystal clear again. So I even showed it on the little short that I did just to show how clear it was the following morning. That was literally 7:30 in the morning, and I don't really think I got finished till about 9 o'clock before I'd finished dicking around and putting filters in and tidying up after the actual video. It's from Saturday, so yeah, I doubt it, mate, but it's worth something worth keeping my on. Eric Gorman says, Gaz, I asked a question at the start. I think you missed it, which would have been way easier to just retype out the question and then I'd have seen it. But I'll go back up and I will find it, mate. Bear with me 1 second. That must have took longer to ask the question. Unless it were a big one.
Could have been a long question.
Could have been a right long one. There's only been about 100 comments that I need to go back
All
through.
your fish turn up right, Crafty?
Yeah, all but one box, little bit struggled, but by the time I'd left, they'd all righted themselves. They looked quite good. Yeah.
There's your first one.
How many van? You have to have 2 van loads. You didn't all
Managed
get
to
them in
all
one van.
mate.
Eh?
Got them all in one van. It was a.
Is
bit of
is that the question? So it normally comes just before night
No,
time.
that's his first one. I'm trying to see if I can find it. This is the hard thing, guys. I mean, it really is difficult to try and find an individual question, and far easier for me if I miss it. I'm not missing them deliberately.
He is.
Crafty,
No,
do you
not at all. Some people think I do genuinely do it on purpose, but some people think I also delete them, but I don't.
Go on, Lee.
But YouTube.
do you sell that green Japanese matting? That is it. What's it
Mountain
called?
Dew?
Pardon?
Mountain Tree.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
The one that
Mountain
you got
Tree
back
stuff.
yours, Mountain Dew.
We can
No.
get it.
Can you?
Get anything. Get
Can
anything.
you prove that? Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Japan.
Eric,
Yeah.
I can't find any other than the one that you was talking about, the koi.
I'll tell you what, mate. The NND fish look fucking fabulous.
Oh, maybe you should talk about the NND Tafaguchi competition.
Shiro event.
Boy, does it smell from Vince.
You know, if you're happy for me to plug, Gaz.
Say again.
Happy for me to plug.
Mate,
Fire away.
I guess we'll.
He wants a free. He wants a free Shiro though.
Yeah.
Getting a fucking free anything.
If any of them die, you can have one.
No thanks. I'll tell you what. Right, I'll have my free one grown on in Leeds. Nice.
I would as well, to be perfectly honest. So, talking with Lee, we bumped into each other down in Japan. Went out for a little beer together, and I told him about the DK Shiro that we come across, and I've been working with NND and got some pretty high quality fish, to be perfectly honest, and he would only sell me 50. So the thing is with Shiro is when they're Tozai, they are not necessarily the most prettiest of fish. And in my head, I was like, this is an opportunity for a grow out event where you can actually see real development in a year. And it's a great but more than that, it's from an exceptionally good parent lineage where I've got a couple of DK Shiros in my own pond, and I know Lee had one, and he let it go for peanuts, and I give him a bollocking when I found out how much he sold it for, because it was an amazing fit, a real amazing fish, and the ones I've got are the same. So they're quite hard to get hold of. So I was quite happy when I was presented with the fish I was presented with, and
Isn't that the thing? Trust the process.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had quite an extensive talk with, I can never remember the guy's name. What's it?
Makoto.
Makoto. I had quite an extensive talk with Makoto. In fact, I probably spent 4 hours with him in total, across Shiro and Sankey and Tanchos and stuff that I bought from him. It's literally, I bought a box and then he'd open something else up to me, and then I buy that and he'd go, oh, you need to come and see these, and then I'll buy them, and it's like, have you had a look at this? And in the end, I must have spent, about 30
Half your budget.
budget there.
I'm going to say, is that where the 120% over budget went?
Yeah, I spent a lot of money at NND, but NND for me have been an amazing. You don't see the brand NND many places, and I don't know why. It was one of my first ever high grade koi as a koi keeper, And you know, in the I've got a shower and a Sankey that has got bodies to die for, and the DK Shiro lineage that I've got, and I've seen what Lee has done, was what gave me the idea to go with that rather than going with a Sankey or a Kahaku, normal run of the mill stuff. I thought, right, let's have a go with that. And talking with Lee was like, well, he's building his grow on pond, as probably is mentioned tonight, and he was like, I need a couple of Shiro. And he's, can I have a pick? And I said, can you fuck let me event fish like? And he went, well, why don't I be part of the event? And I was like, okay. But then he moved it on to the next level, where it gives him the ability to provide content. It gives us the ability to watch how Lee's fish is progressing week in, week out. And what Lee has done is then challenged everybody else in the event. So it's going to be everyone versus Lee and against each other. So I've sort of looked at price points. I think it's going to be around 175 quid for a fish, but there's going to be a hell of a lot more involved with that. This is extremely preliminary. I've got to go firm on details, but like I did last year, you know, there'll be food involved and probably even a game of golf for people that want it as well. You know, but I've got to go firm on that, and I think it'd be quite a nice touch for Lee to show us his magic, and I think people will do well to beat him. To be
well, let me put my 5 pence in that. Is that the expression?
Don't let him
I
do
think I might have to. How many Shiro did you get?
51, because one was
okay. So what I'm going to have to do, I think, is I'm going to have to take 2 off you.
Why 2?
Because I'm sort of like in pole position. If something happens to one, then it's. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to take 2 off you. All right.
All right.
Then you lose. Isn't that how it works? If it dies, you're out, and we all win.
Well, this is yeah, I know, but like everyone's sort of like,
yes, we beat Lee Alfield.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Okay, yeah, I'll just pick the best one then. But no, but I thought it would be a good event because my videos come out most weeks. It gives someone sort of like, it's like being on pole position on the F1, isn't it? You can always see that person in front of you, so you've got, you know, you can see what I'm achieving and see if you can like keep up. I think it'd be a good like little stringer going, and the development and stuff.
I think you're going to need a bigger fish tank.
Pardon?
I think you're going to need a bigger fish tank and a bigger
maybe. But also, like what Crafty didn't mention is, I think the DK line is becoming quite hard to get now, because I think the parent set that they use for the DK line, they're not producing the offspring that they were, so they're becoming rarer and rarer now. And when we were over in when I was over in NND, I was looking at some of the Makoto's Nisai Shiros, and he bowled 3 of them up, and they were really nice. And then you know, he said what price they were, like retail, like, you know, like the price to like Ryan and stuff. And I was looking at them, and I was thinking to myself, oh my god, I can't, you know, like Jenna, my koi that I had, my Shiro that I offloaded to a lovely guy called Gary, was twice the koi that all 3 of them were in there. And I heard the price that Makoto was selling those for, and I thought to myself, oh my god, I can't believe I gave that fish away. Do you know what I mean? Because it would have commanded one hell of a price if it was still in NND. Do you know what I mean? The body and the seroja and everything about my fish. And that's a good thing. Like, you know, the value you can put on a tozai if you raise it correctly to Nisai in your own pond is quite extraordinary. You know what I mean? Now, I did pay good money for that one because it was entered into like the Wakagoi and stuff like that in Japan. But picking up one of those DK Shiros from Perfect Aquatics for like, even if they're 200 quid, you know, by the time they're in your pond a year later and they're 50, 55 cm, as long as they're going in the right direction, that's a valuable fish. You know what I mean? And my motto is buy cheap and grow them expensive. It's way better.
It's true. Yeah, there was rumours that the spawning set had died for the DK. It's not true. They hadn't died. They're just not producing. So, you know, whether or not they're getting enough eggs to be able to pull the quality that they want or what, I don't know. But he hasn't got many, and the stuff that he has got is fairly sacred. So to be able for him to like do the deal with me, you know, in a way that's quite you know good. Well, a good relationship I've got with that. I mean, I've spoke to Fujio for a number of years on Facebook and that because he loves that sort of stuff. But you know, he was great. He was great when I was there. They really entertained me well as a host for selling all of their fish. They emptied my bank account.
What size are they now at current? McCoy's asking. Or how big are they?
I mean, I don't want to be held down to this now, but they're around.
Pinning you to it. This is live.
16 to 18 cm at the moment, I think.
16 to 18.
Yeah, but don't nail me down on that because I only received them today, and they've just literally gone into the ponds and they're starting their settling in period. So I'm not even going to be looking at them like with regards to netting them out and looking at them until they've settled in and they're looking good. But I've already seen change from when I was in Japan. There's a lot of the fish, the sumi was sitting quite deep and under the skin. Today when I got them, there was more with sumi starting to come through the skin. So I'm hoping with the waters over here that'll blossom more. So, you know, I was advised by a couple of people that they're not the best fish at Tozai because they don't look ready, and that only just made me go, well, that's even better then, because if they don't look ready, then what better to start something that don't look ready and say, right, this is what's going to happen.
You're going to get to watch them
in
develop.
A year's time, that look at what they've turned into, and that will only really help the understanding of the development of koi. So, you know,
Happy days. Peter's asked, what's the best way to measure salt levels and how?
Salt meter.
Salt meter. But unfortunately, they are expensive.
Yeah, about 70, 80 quid.
Yeah.
But don't buy a cheap
one for about 85, 90, can't you?
Don't buy a cheap Chinese one because they lie.
Yeah, because they're just shite and they don't work.
Yeah.
You're right, mate. Yeah.
I just I had to run out the back, mate, because I could hear a helicopter and I literally thought it was landing in my back garden. And then I thought to myself, it might be the police looking at the top of my pond thinking that I'm growing
how many
weed.
fish you got?
Growing cannabis.
Yeah. But no, I think it's just hovered across the other way. I was like, oh my God. It might be Colonel Trutman asking me to come and sort out some Afghans because they think I'm John J. Rambo.
What I can do is I can give you the date that we're going to do it on. I'm just gonna bring up my forecast of events.
There's a quick one in between while you go through your diary.
Yeah,
Are retro skimmers any good? Added an in-pond Awazi aqua skim.
They're excellent.
I think a lot of people use them, but don't really use them as the.
No, they're supposed to hunt around the pond.
Yeah, exactly. Most people tether them up somewhere where you get a dead spot or whatever, because you draw flow to it then, and it gets rid of the dead spot for a start, and you also get the surface crap removing. The only thing I've seen with some of them, not all of them, but some of them, they can be a little bit difficult to get them to sit flat and level in the pond.
Yeah, I found that.
You've got to get that air bubble out from underneath them.
Actually, so in the outdoor pond, like the main pond at the shop, we use one of those, and what you tend to find is once they're sat, they're fine. You have to turn them off,
sink them and submerge them, don't you? Right under you.
And then they'll come up and stay there. And then when the flow rate stops going through because it's collected so much crap off, they will then raise up in the water again.
Yeah.
And then you have to clean the basket out and do. But as soon as they're done, that they are excellent. When it's not on the shop, the amount of scum that you see on there is very evident. So they are worth it, and they are good to have. If you haven't got a skimmer and you need one, they are worth it.
Next quick one there then from Gary Coy. We got loads of Garys in here now. This is I thought I were a dying race. Question: What do you think Coy, or when do you think Coy look their best? For me, it's around 50 cm.
When they're at their peak.
That's this. I think it depends on the fish, because I've seen little Tozai at shows which I think, wow, man, that is stunning. That is a beautiful little fish. And then,
which is when they're at the peak.
Yeah.
Then
you see them at 50 cm, you think, wow, that's amazing. And then you see some of them when they're at 80 and 90 cm, you think, well, you don't look as good as you've done in past.
Yeah, so the grow out event is going to be held on the weekend of the 27th. I don't know if you'll see that. 27th and 28th of April.
I won't be here.
You what, mate?
I don't think I'll be here.
Don't say that to me, Lee.
Looks like you'll get what's left over then.
Yeah, it's first pick.
No, it's all right. I'm picking mine when I come down on the 9th.
What, mate? Send me over dates you are available, because I've got Alan Tate involved in this.
Yeah. It's only because I think Yasmin's booked Lanzarote over that date. I'll confirm tomorrow.
Mate, I'll
could
give
just
her a ring and cancel it, mate. It's not a problem.
You could just fly
You
back,
can.
couldn't you? And then fly back to Lanzarote again. Just quick whip in, pick your fish, bush, straight back.
I'll
It's only a
cover
price.
your
It's only a price of Sakai Akari, isn't it? Same place.
Exactly.
I'll cover your flight, mate. That's not a problem.
I could do the week before that probably, but then that might be too, or the week after that.
Okay, I need to liaise with Alan Tate, because
Okay.
I want him to be involved because they're sure.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and I do.
Yeah.
Surely Alan's having one.
No.
No,
He can have one. He can have one of them that I grow on.
Fish for a grow on.
Well, he's watching because I noticed he called me a fucking moose on the comments earlier, and he even went to the extent of putting a picture of a moose on there.
Did it? Did I miss that?
Alan is absolutely fucking horrendous because he is proper techno buff. So
I missed that. I'll find it for you, Mr. Tate. I'll go back. Talk amongst yourselves while I find Mr. Tate's comment.
yeah. Okay, but yeah, it's
Yes, he did as well.
how the fuck he even found that little emoji? I'll never know.
Did it for him.
His granddaughter must be there helping him.
Yeah, somebody did it for him. I found it on a copy of his Betamax.
But yeah, it's good. It's going to be a good, and we will have specials on for anybody that enters. So there'll be specials like there was last season. Percentages off the shelves. There'll be percentages off livestock. And after today's shipment, I must admit, I have got one pond left in the shop that hasn't got koi in it. That's a lot of fucking ponds full of fish. Ones that you want to keep an eye out for is the goshki that I got. They look fucking amazing as well.
There you go, everybody. Keeping Paula's pond build. Also, can I promote my new business venture, memorabilia walls? I've been doing koi art and all hand paintings, no prints or airbrushing, acrylic paints on boxed canvases. I'm booked into 2 koi shows for dates. I've been waiting for you to send me the details through so that I could put it on and I'll advertise it for you. And you did say the last message, I will get them across to you guys. So get them across to us and I'll share them as well. Share them on the group, on the Facebook group too.
I managed to get hold of some very high quality Kawakami goshki. And they turned up today, man, and they're fucking special fish. Kawakami and goshki are amazing. top breeder of Goshki. You know, I've sold one, and I think I've sold it a little bit too cheap. So I'm revising my prices now. I've seen them in the UK waters.
I must have been ahead of the curve, mate. My original parents come from him 20 years ago.
Really? Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
I was invited to a place that was kept very low key, and when I turned up there, it was like, "Would you like these?" And I was like, "Fucking yes, I would." And I paid for them, though, I must admit.
Yes.
Quick question there from Claude Crafter. How long before the new shipments are for sale to public?
Okay, they're for sale as and when they go live on the website, or if you see anything on Facebook and there's something that you like, message me. They're for sale now, but they won't be released until they come out of QT. And, you know, they're not available for public viewing in QT either.
Are you doing the conventional 7 weeks or longer?
No, it'd be based on how the fish cope, basically, Gus. You know, if they require longer, then they'll get it.
So be it. Yeah.
It's all on the fish, man.
Good man.
I must admit, though, I got fish. Well, you would have seen it because you asked me if I had 2 of them.
That's nice, isn't it?
I got some rather nice sized kajaku in, some lovely tancho, and the fish today, with the exception of one bag that didn't travel too well, but they seemed good. That the fish when I left tonight were active and looking happy. So, you know, hopefully
they travel well though.
Yeah, they've travelled extremely well actually.
Good,
you know, in comparison to what I received last year, the colder months are kinder.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, yeah, Rick said it in past. It's better for shipping them and moving them in the colder season than in the warm season. More oxygen, less of a shock, less stress.
When we got a few shipments last year, it was a little bit later on, and they turned up in real hot weather, and they was turning in the bags. You know, it was all hands on deck to get them fish into them ponds to save them. You know, and didn't, with the exception of one bag that didn't travel too well. Bearing in mind I had a big shipment, I was quite impressed actually. Some of the chibinisai I bought are looking fantastic, absolutely well, not some of them, all of them. They really travelled well. It was like I could have fed them today before I left. That's how good they looked.
Nice. We got a question from David Pickstock who says, "Hi guys, I'm getting a lot of skimmit as I'm feeding Sakayakari balance. Water temp is at 15.5 degrees, the same as you would in a marine aquarium with a protein skimmer. Is it worth putting a protein skimmer on the pond? It's collecting in the moving bed and the most, and I can wipe the sides with a kitchen towel and it looks like the inside of a napper." So protein skimmers or excessive protein. Excessive protein, is that from overfeeding?
I had this year in the summer in my own personal pond. I'd get up in the morning and there'd be protein foam on top of the pond that looked like Marge fucking Simpson's hair. There's lots of it, and I found out the reason, and food, uneaten food, was collecting in an area that I hadn't seen, and pretty much, you know, spiking, and you know, I just adjusted the feed to get rid of it, and it worked. It took a time, but I got it there. I mean, I'm not over fay with all the ways that water work, and I know that proteins are a bit of an issue. I mean, if you're getting it in your moving bed, something's not right somewhere. I mean, I couldn't tell you where. It's definitely a high protein for it to scum up like it is, you know. But I dare say Rick's the man to ask that question to. No?
Potentially, you can use protein skimmer, cut back on the food, change the food, see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of ponds, especially in the spring, get massive amounts of froth in the mornings, and it's to do with algae.
Yeah, I was just going
to do with protein. It's to do with the algae trying to grow and the UVs either not working enough or whatever. And that's why every morning it's like foam, and by the evening it's fine. You think,
yeah, that's what was happening with me. Yeah,
yeah, a lot of that's the algae.
I'll put a bigger UV on actually. Yeah, and yeah,
Give us
185 watts.
That's it. But yeah, you do find, if you've ever got problems that, it's simple, isn't it? If you think the food's causing the problem, change it for a few weeks. If the problem goes away, it's sorted. If it makes no difference, or cut the food back, or but a lot of foam in the ponds is more algae based rather than protein based.
There's points through the night where your algae blooms like crazy, doesn't it, and starts, and then that. It was somebody was saying it, weren't they? They checking it because it also makes your pH spike as well, doesn't it? And it normally does that through the dead of the night. And then when you get up in the morning, then you're left with the foamy, frothy water. And then, as you said, warm for the day again, algae drops off, pH comes back down and settles again, and then it all disperses.
Yeah,
But a guy that said that he showed it had a monitor on his pond, didn't he? If you remember, about halfway through last year, he sent us that little chart, didn't he, where it showed it as it is. pH fluctuated through the night, and they were getting the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
It's an old YouTuber called Koi Diaries. He didn't put much out for some time, but when he done his pond upgrade,
yes, he did. He put a skimming line in, didn't he?
He put his own style in, and that worked out some right shit. You know, you don't necessarily need to buy a protein skimmer on the market because they're expensive, man.
He did it with just a couple of pieces of hose, didn't he? In a piece of pipe, and it just literally come out and just poured on floor, and he just swilled it away.
He put it above his water line, so as it was coming through, it was sucking it out. Yeah, it was good actually. It was a good bit of engineering.
Good old Andy Daly.
Andy Daly, yeah.
Andy Daly, that's it, yeah. Andy Daly. He hasn't put anything out for a while, has he? We only mentioned this other week as well, but he hasn't put out for a long time.
Yeah, he's involved in business or something, and cycling more than his coin.
Yeah, cycling.
Middle-aged men in lycra.
That's wrong.
What was that advert? Do you remember that advert, J.R. Hartley's, when he was a kid with a kid on the razor blade as he got on his push bike on his drop handle and rode down the road?
Yeah.
I don't remember showing your age, mate. I'm not that old.
Yo.
Remember it, guys.
Right. Have we got one more? I think we've got. Hang about. I think we have got one more in the community one as well. I've got a sneaky feeling it's from Jigs, but one more question. I think could be lying. No, I'm not. Best way to get rid of fines out of the water. Connect to sieve. Would that work? Removing fines. Best way to remove fines.
Drum.
Well, it's right, isn't it? Yeah, a drum would find micro mesh. It's the same as a sieve, isn't it? Eventually, really, a drum's identical, but a moving, turning one.
It's finer than a sieve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's finer, way finer than a sieve.
I mean,
what's the microns on your drum, Lee?
I don't know, 70, I think.
60.
60, is it? Yeah, it goes. But then, obviously, then that will go then into the moving bed, and then the moving bed then will probably take it down to like almost 0 micron, because that'll consume everything else, and you know that's the final polisher, isn't it? The moving bed there, 750 liters of moving K1, bish bash bosh. I've taken a dump in there before, and it's not come out the other side.
I mean,
how much air you put through it?
But then.
How much air you putting through to move 750?
So I've got a Fuji Mac 300 on it.
Right.
Then Fuji Mac.
It's like a double one. It's probably how much do they push? That's a lot, isn't it?
But yeah, 300 liters an hour.
300 liters an hour. Yeah, I can sit on it, and there's so much air coming. I don't sink.
Yeah, when Lee was doing his haircut, and he'd done quite an interesting experiment with different air pumps, and done an EA one, and it pretty much was like a fart down the air tube. It went nowhere. And then he put the Fujimak on, and it fucking erupted the water. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon that Fujimak is so powerful. If I turned off all the valves and emptied the bio chamber and then put the Fujimak back on, I could use it as one of those skydiving tunnels.
I want to see that.
What's the wattage on it then?
Is the one that's in the moving bed now the original one that you put on the pond and you blow out water across, like mass bubbles all the way across the inside of the pond before fish?
Yeah, that's it. So the Fujimak, I've got like a diaphragm where not a diaphragm, a
switch over.
Pardon?
Switch over so you can divert some.
Yeah, a manifold. Yeah, I've made a manifold so like I can divert it all the air everywhere. And I have got like a 2.5 meter air curtain, but I don't really use that because it's good in the summer. You know, if I'm doing treatments and stuff, I'll put the 2 bottom drains on my 4. I've got a 60 Fujimak and I've got that 300. So the 60 just powers the drains and all that kind of stuff if I want to put some extra oxygen in. But like, yeah, I've got 2 of the Awaz, you know, like the big Awaz, air stones. You know, those in the bottom of the big drums.
The triangle one.
Yeah. So I've got 2 of those on the bottom of my moving bed, and the moving bed is 6 foot deep, 1.5 meters by 1 meter. So I think it's got 550 liters of water in there, I think, and 750 liters of K1. With 300 liters a minute going through it. So it's bubbles.
As Terence says there, you could spray a car with that.
Yeah, it's 250 watts.
250 watts just for the air pump.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's exactly that. Fucking good on it.
Claude's asked, Crafty, do you still enjoy your pond at home? Are you finished after work? Are you done?
No, mate, I enjoy my pond as much as everybody else. And that, my fish are my fish. I don't spend as much time on my pond as I'd like to because I'm at work too often. But you know, I still enjoy my own koi, and I buy for myself. I bought one while I was out in Japan, and it's staying out there. It was one of the Odakan Sakai Tozai that people. I bought myself one of them. Right little.
Yeah. I bought one of the Odakan Kawaku.
Oh, did you? What, from the same? What, the
from Odakan? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, not from the Sakai event fish.
Yeah.
But he because obviously I was over there the week before you, wasn't I? And he pulled up like a real high quality batch, and I bought one of the Kawaku there. But it's not it's Odakans, not Sakai's.
Oh yeah. Oh, an actual Odakan fish.
Yeah, and that's staying there, but it's bonkers good. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Like in the autumn.
He done like a Sakai event. I think you covered it actually, Lee. It was,
yeah. Well, we got there a bit too late because we went down to Yoshino, and then by the time we got back, it had done. But like Ryan won, I think 6 of the fish that he wanted, and then there was a load left over that people didn't buy for some reason, and he bought a load more of them. It was crazy because like, I covered that actually because we were like, Odakan himself, Ryan bought another like half a dozen of them, and Odakan was saying, sometimes the dealers that come don't really have a clue what they're looking for because they've left all the best ones. Do you know what I mean? And they weren't necessarily the most expensive ones.
Yeah,
it's just like bonkers, you know.
I mean, I got the fish I wanted, and believe it or not, outside of the frame of it, one thing that really stood out for me, it's got lovely black stripes going into its dorsal fin, and I don't know, just that little quality was what I wanted that for. that's staying out there for a year. It'd be interesting to see how that comes out.
That'd be interesting to see how they both do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I've got that Odakan Kawaku. I've got a really amazing Kawaku in Azakari in Yoshino. And I've definitely got one Kawaku in Yamaguchi and potentially
You got one
a
everywhere.
very special fish that hopefully I can
Where's your
afford to
little one that you
purchase.
picked? And you did you leave that one there to grow?
Which
on?
one?
You picked a little one, didn't you? That one that nobody else spotted, and you snagged
Oh, the
it.
Kawaku.
Yeah.
In Yamaguchi. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I got that one. That was
Is that coming home or is that staying over there?
That's staying there. Yeah, that wasn't a particularly expensive one.
No,
to be
I
honest,
remember
but
you saying like other week.
yeah, I'm not sure if Yamaguchi discounted me that because he knew it was specifically for me, or whether he just valued it like normally. But it was the cheapest one in the batch there. It wasn't particularly cheap, mate. Do you know what I mean? But it was the cheapest one. But then the last day we were in Yamaguchi, there was, well, a Sankey to die for, mate. Ryan has put up on Exclusively Koi's page yesterday, the day before. It's superb, like, do you know what I mean? I told him that I'm super interested in that, but I can't afford it yet because it was, well, for a Tozai, mind blowing, to be honest. But it's a fish of a lifetime. If that comes out of the mud pond, anywhere as higher quality as it's going in, that's got real potential to win big awards in Japan, I would say. Do you know what I mean?
And you're gonna
But
have
we'll
a go
see.
more competing of your fish over in Japan this year, then.
I don't know. Well, I done it the first year. I competed in Japan before the UK because I bought that Shiro and stuff like that, and the Shiro done really well over this. It's really exciting, but it's weird when you compete in Japan. You don't really do anything. You just give money to someone and they look after it and put it in a show, don't they?
Yeah, but
It's still exciting, but for me, it's more exciting competing over here. Obviously, mate, if I was extremely wealthy and I could buy what I wanted to buy, it would be real fun. But what's this one?
This is it. This is the Sankey.
Mate, that is superb, isn't it?
That fish is the best Tozai I've ever seen.
Mate, you can't. That thing is about 20 cm there. But if you look at the fish and you didn't know that was 20 cm and you couldn't see the size of that bowl, it looks like a
It already looks like a very well developed fish, doesn't it?
It's superb. Like I said, I know the price of that fish, and Ryan has promised me that. See what it looks like when it comes out of the mud pond shag in October, and if you still want it, you can have it for the price that I've paid for it. I don't know if he's going to stand by that or not, because if it was
That's
me,
a good video as well.
He's probably he's probably sold it already and not told me.
That's just a fucking fish to die for, man.
Dude, it's incredible.
Look at the keyword on that.
You just need to see the body, the volume, the depth of it, though. It's insane. And if you've seen the parents, the male and the female parent as well, you can see exactly where that's going.
Yeah.
It's just a beast. Look, the face looks like a pit bull already.
It's got shoulder. It looks very.
It's got looking like shoulders coming on it, hasn't it?
Mate, like I said, it looks like a really seasoned Nisai already. Look at it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. It looks like a short body, but it's not. Good fish, that. Really good fish.
This Lee, you went there, mate.
Look at that.
And I went there as well. That's that little.
Oh, that's the ghost pond, the ghost koi house.
Opposite that factory thing.
Yeah. I love that place.
It's fucking. When I seen them fish in that pond in a natural environment, mate, it took me somewhere else, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, that there looks like that hot spell that we had over there the last week, and the first week I was there, that would have been covered with snow, that pond. So they've been in there all the way through winter.
Yeah, well, they will, wouldn't they? They're hardy.
Mm.
And that is,
Yeah. Nearly as hard as mine in Yorkshire.
nearly as hard as Rick's. Rick's fish are hard as fuck.
They are. They are.
No,
mate.
acclimatized.
That's the one.
They freak out in Lee's Pond. They'd be like, oh, it's too hot.
Oh, mate, they'd be wide in mine. They'd be like that. What is going on?
Yeah.
You'd be like an Eskimo living in a hot tub.
Jump
Last-
straight out, wouldn't they?
Last question that we've got then for this evening, guys. It's from Terry Gardner. Gander, should I say? I hope I'm saying that right. Koi treatments. How harsh are some of these with long-term effects?
Some of these.
What are
Some of
these?
these koi treatments, some of the koi treatments that we use nowadays, how harsh are they with long-term effects?
They're not. If used
not.
correctly, not long-term effects, no. If used correctly.
Yeah, the trouble is the doses on the bottle are so borderline low that whether they do what they should do at those doses is debatable. But yeah, it's
I know, Alan. I know.
We have got. It's a question to help if we can with somebody as well. I forgot, mate. Sorry, Top Chagger. How did I forget that one? He sent me a little bit of a. Here we go. We've got. Hi, mate. Can you give me some advice on this? I'm thinking of converting the top basket into a moving bed. Do you think that could work better than sponge? And this is the diagram.
Evilest man I have ever known, and I wish he wasn't my father.
There we go. That's the top one, and instead of having the what did the question say? The next bit this is the actual filters themselves. You ever seen a filter like that before?
No, it looks like a chimney pot.
No, I've never ever seen anything like that before. But the question is, thinking of converting the top basket into a moving bed. So that would be the top basket here. And making these into a moving bed. At the moment, it has an optional or additional biological media in there. Start thinking about making them into removing the foam cartridges and making that into a moving bed. You think it would work?
Can't you just remove everything and make it all into a moving bed?
Well, I say you'd probably be better making one chamber as a.
No, not enough, man. Not enough media in there to.
They're quite small, aren't they?
Not really have that much of an effect, I don't believe.
But if you made this one into a moving bed and that one into a static bed filter, and going from one into the next and then to that, wouldn't that be a better, making it a full moving bed and having this as a full static bed with sponges or whatever, and then into the moving bed afterwards, then returning?
Yeah, they're a multi-bay filter, aren't they? What you're looking at.
Yeah, instead of it being that way on, it's that way on, and it tiered instead.
Yeah, it's upflowed, isn't it? But I think
it could be quite difficult, wouldn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's going to try and settle somewhere because of the shape of it.
Yeah. It's going to be a difficult one for me. I just don't think you're going to get enough volume of moving bed in there to make a massive difference, to be honest. They stand
4.5 foot tall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what.
Bloody hell, that's as tall as Shinoda's dad.
I think what you need to do is work out how much media you can put in there. If you're gonna do it, you've also got to remember that you've got to tumble it enough and put the air in the right place to make it work. So, it's more about the volume that you're putting in and whether you can make it work. A moving bed filter is massively beneficial, and actually for me, I wouldn't even have alpha grog or anything like that in there anyway.
No.
I think there's better filtration than what was in that diagram.
I'm guessing you're going to go with bastardizing that and making it. They're not like that at present, because that is the inlet, isn't it? In flows over, cascades over the side and down. So
I mean, it's got flow core in there, and flow core is, if anything, I'd make that into. I'd fill that with K1 media personally.
Yeah, but it's up. The thing is, it's flowing out the top, isn't it? So you're flowing in.
Well,
down,
it comes
then
in here, flows up, cascades over,
if
down
you just
and
put
through,
K1 in
and then
it,
back out to discharge here.
if it was static K1, it'll block at the bottom really quick. That's the problem. So you'd either want to make the whole thing, yeah, like I say, but you'd need quite a lot. It'd be quite a pig to get it all moving in that shape.
Yeah, because this central column is going to stop it from rolling in it.
It's the square edges as well, Gaz.
Yeah.
And stop it escaping out your outlets.
Yeah, that's the biggest pain in the ass with moving beds.
I mean, you can get baskets to put inside to prevent that. It's just whether or not you can keep that media moving with those in there. You may find that you get a lot of dead spots, but it would be beneficial if you've got enough media to achieve it. It certainly would. How do you clean it?
From the bottom drainlet, you could fizz it and drop it. It's almost like a tempest you could make, couldn't you? A giant one.
4-foot tempest.
Yeah,
it's going to take some playing about with, mate. If that's how it is at the moment, what you're using at present.
It'd be interesting.
It looks more like an ornamental filtration, like more effort's being put in trying to make it look aesthetically pleasing from the outside, but not necessarily the best at filtration from the inside.
I think it's probably an early 90s sort of filter, to be fair, mid-90s. It'll work. It'll work. You only have to look what they fucking use in Japan to see that this sort of thing, it's still going to work. It's going to be quite labor intensive. And how well will it clean? That's what question I would have. How well does it clean?
Fill it with foam.
Well, if you've got all the media, you just, yeah. Who knows?
Well, we'll let you tell us.
Buy a Nexus and use it as a plant pot.
Yeah, there you go. 2 planters have some nice Japanese aces growing out of them.
I think it definitely work. It does look same kind of principle as the Tempest, like, isn't it?
You could we could static it and then fizz it up and boil it to clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get Vince on the case. That's his dream, isn't it? He loves fannying about.
Oh my God, Vince would love that.
Cheers, Lee. There.
he has put a little fucking note wrong with Alpha Grodden Flow Core. There's nothing wrong with fucking Flow Core, mate. There's nothing right with it whatsoever.
Is Flow Core the rigid pipe stuff?
Yeah, horrible shit.
Yeah.
The original.
But they use loads of that in Japan, though. I've seen loads of it over there.
Yeah, they will.
We use it for, we use it for void spaces, for flow through, for void spaces. It's quite. But the original Flow Core was more like, it was designed and 3D printed more like giant K1.
Yeah, it had perforated holes through it too, didn't it?
That cheap stuff sort of came along and became Flow Core that just offcuts a pipe.
Yeah.
Basically.
The original one was like land drain pipe work, wasn't it?
It had all sorts. It had a much bigger surface area. It was proper designed as a filter media, and then it sort of turned into that offcuts a pipe.
I don't know if it really helped there, Chagger. To be fair, mate.
It's an hard one, mate, because it's such it's one of them filters that we don't really look at these days. To be fair,
I've never seen one of those before.
Boil up.
Has anybody ever got you know the old Peter Waddington one? Was it called The Answer? Was it?
No.
The Eric. You know what Vince
Eric.
took to work? He brought an Eric in. I was like, it's a box man.
We've
Can you
got
remember
an
the
old
Peter Waddington one?
Yeah, the big long one. We've got one at the shop.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Mate, that's awesome. I need to put a sticker on that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
What team was Toy Whisperer out?
No.
What not a Peter Waddington one?
Yeah.
Which one? What's that now?
As it's set up like most basic internal filter systems would be in a pond or in a tank. Set up the same, and it foams at the top to take out, and then you've got your biological, and then you've got your primary biological settlement, and then the settlement area to flush away. So I mean,
yeah,
it's like most internal in-water filter systems set up the same way. A fine, medium, coarse, then your biological media, and then it returns back out.
Yeah, but that's not, is it? That's the opposite way. The foams are on top, aren't they?
Foams at top, but the water comes in from the bottom.
Yeah, but it goes back down again. It goes back down the centre columns and then
through,
up.
doesn't it? And then out.
So it goes through
As
the
it
green.
goes up, it then
The
comes.
outlet discharge here, and the waste discharge goes to there. So the shit comes up and settles here.
Yeah, but
And
that's
then it upflows through, and the fine filtration comes out of top and returns. It's like most internal canister filters.
I don't see how like the primary settlement chamber is enough to take where's the mechanical filtration?
The top bit there at top, isn't it? Well, the settlement heavies drop. Water comes up, heavies drop, and then goes to this discharge primary settlement. The finer stuff goes into the primary biological, then you go your main biological, then through the sponge for your polishing, and then returns back to the pond. It's a bit weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to get your head around. I'd have to have a proper good look at it, I think.
It worked fine.
Shaggers, do some pictures. Send some pictures in of what it looks like.
Yeah, see if you can get some photos of it, actually, and we can bring it up again next week, mate, if we can help.
Yeah, show us the internals if you can.
Is that Noah's original diagram?
Why?
There we go. Tony Barker, I would run a Waddy Epic filter. It's superb.
Epic filter. That's it. That's what it was called. Yeah.
Eric. It was an Eric filter.
An Eric filter.
Yeah.
Because I can remember Peter. I'm sure Peter Waddington had like a
the Eric was a
one, so you could see it
filter.
all working, couldn't you?
It was originally called the Eric, then changed to the Epic Jeff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Because I can remember it called the Epic.
And then changed to the Epic Jeff. I think he's talking to Jeff because Jeff said, that's it. So it weren't called Jeff. It was changed to the name.
That sounds better than Epic. Fuck it. Epic Jeff sounds so much better.
Yeah.
Sparky's Coys there's put do the bottom.
Yeah,
first
always
one.
do the bottom first, mate.
With
Get
the
the tears
K1
out the way.
starting, pipe all, take all pipe work out, and then the second pipe down into the bottom and have a moving bed and the 4 corner air stones, water out the top.
Somewhat along those lines.
Replace it, mate, with a modern update one.
Yeah.
That would be my best advice.
Reuse.
A white chocolate egg.
That's not going to last long, is it? Come on, you could have just put that in one go.
Yeah, I like to savour the taste.
Savour the taste of white chocolate.
Has it got Cadbury's like cream egg?
Boys, can we stop talking about chocolate? I'm on a diet.
Talking of chocolate, I do prefer a dairy milk. Whole milk.
Oh.
Sorry.
No.
My personal favourite is a Turkish delight. I've got one in the van, but I'm trying to hold back.
All the way.
Turkish
Well,
delight.
Wine gums.
Like that. Nah, I can eat that.
Crafty's got a right selection.
Crafty's got more sweets under there than what I've got under my desk. I thought I had a lot of different
More
stuff.
sweets and soft mix, mate.
Yeah. How many stuff Mick got? Tons. Haribos, you like them as well, don't you, Crafter? Same as me, mate. I do. And I'm quite partial to.
Got
like
some
Haribo,
over here as well.
Yeah, the teddies are the best ones, aren't they? Golden bears, they're the best ones.
So, Lee, how many toasts are you got going into that
No.
tank? You must have 40
So
fish.
I've got 15 Nagami, 15 Yoshino. I've got. Am I having 2 of your Shinodas? Yeah. So okay, so I've got 4 Shinoda, 2 Hiitsu, 2 Shiro. So what's that? 30, 35, 36.
And you bought quite
You're going to need a bigger grower.
me today as well.
36. Oh, 37. I got a Showa as well. Sankey. What else did I get? Is that about it?
You're up.
Oh
you're
no,
gonna,
and I got. Did I get some stuff off Kobayashi? I can't remember. About 10 grand's worth, anyway.
it's about 40
That's-
fish.
About
That's 40 plus
yeah.
fish.
Nice.
You're going to need a bigger grower, Lee.
No, I was thinking. Well, let's put it this way. When I had my grow on last year, it was only 500 gallon, and I had 46 fish in there, and they thrived. Do you know what I mean? It was absolutely. It just performed perfectly, even just on an easy pod. So now it's like 1,000 gallons, and
And you've got a way bigger filter system now, haven't you?
Way bigger, but you know, I've got about the same amount of fish in there, but you need that amount of fish for it to be a competitive environment to get them on the feed.
Yeah.
Averages out at £250 a fish, mate.
Yeah, I know. Don't. Yeah.
Because
It's quite expensive tozai, really, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Expensive tozai, but good.
Yeah.
Good
But
tozai.
there's no point fucking around.
I want to ask for giving you all the equipment for free. How'd you pull that
Well,
one
yeah,
back?
you know. So, well, you know, like I said, out of those 45 tozai, I probably will only end up keeping 1 or 2. So, if I can scrape back any kind of funds that will pay for the next batch to go in there, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
We'll see. I'll just offload. I'll offload. I'll only keep I'm only going to keep 2. I'll offload the rest. People get the opportunity of having a nice Nagami in their pond. Oh dear.
Question for Crafter. Is this new EA Surge just a Tempest with all the problems fixed?
No, it's not. Not really. It's some I've looked at. Basically, it's got a built-in 18-watt UV filter. That's it.
Yeah. It's still got the problems there.
EA surged. Hang on, am I out of the loop? Is there a new filter on the market now?
Yeah, it's completely black. It's basically a Tempest upflow filter. It's more designed for smaller ponds. It's tiny. It's got a UV filtration system in it.
Oh,
But,
right,
The
okay.
autistic toy keeper
I was quite excited for him when I was speaking to Fred White. But you know, it turned out that the biggest UV they do is 18 watts, which is, you know, fuck all for what some of us want.
Have you seen that comment there?
Yeah. White eggs.
I hope that wasn't one of those winter holiday fun-eating white eggs.
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck it. I've just been to Japan. I didn't
Say
even
that,
know
then when you're on about those UVs, the 18-watt UV, I think it depends how the UV is used, because like on my pond, 5,000 gallon, I've only got 80 watts of UV, and it keeps it crystal clear because they're in the drum. They're in that silver drum, and it's just bouncing around everywhere and really maximizing, you know, what it does.
100%, but you've got an amalgam as well, haven't you? It's an
2 amalgams, 240 watts.
Yeah, you know, and they're powerful as fuck, mate. They're different gravy to an EA 18-watt UV.
Right.
They're
If I'm
different.
talking about that, I need to get 2 bulbs to replace probably those now.
When you're running a drum, you haven't got the solids in there anyway. So you've got a much cleaner environment. You've got 750 litres of hidden fluid bed filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably don't even need a UV.
No, maybe.
You'll be all right.
But that's the one thing I think about the UV units, though. You know, like the when the UV is sort of like in a tube, and then you've got to reduce all your 2-inch pipe work down into 1.5 inches to go into a huge V tube, and then obviously the water will speed up through there. How much really exposure does the water get from that internal tube? Do you know what I mean?
Not a
Does that
lot.
make sense?
Yeah, not a lot is the answer. That's right.
Mm. That's why I really like the UVs that go into a drum, because they've got a massive surface area for that UV to penetrate the whole of the drum and really, you know, for the same energy output, be way more efficient, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially, I'm lucky because I got a stainless steel drum. So you imagine the inside of that is pretty much like a mirror, so it's enhancing it even more.
Is that? Did you put the Is it the what do they call them?
Amalgams.
Amalgam. Yeah. What happened to the one that you put inside the little submarine type thing?
Oh, mate, yeah, that was the
cool,
amalgam. So one of those is being used, yeah. But that worked really good. I like that one. And like, if you remember, I put it in a 4-inch pipe.
Yeah, and then put the little glass.
Yeah, so the water from the 2-inch pipes would come into that 4-inch pipe and slow right down. So it'd have like twice the time to be able to, you know, register the water going through it.
Twice the contact time.
Yeah, twice the contact time. But it worked really well, that did. I really liked that thing.
Oh, good that. I was surprised that you managed to be able to get the little vision panel that you put in.
Yeah, that was like a little air fixed paint pot.
It had to be pressurized, didn't it? Paint pot. Yeah, well, glass
yeah,
jar
little air fixed paint pot. Yeah, it worked well.
Twat, isn't he? All the fucking about he does. Now
I love it.
Now it's just in a fucking drum.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. You've got to build loads of ponds because each one gets slightly better.
Well, it's definitely got better, mate, and it's mint last one.
Is that the forever one down now in a couple of months and build another one the other side?
Yeah, well, I knew that were coming as soon as you mentioned that other day video. To be fair, I thought you were going to do that last year. I thought you were half tempted when you got like filter moved over, and you thought I could with that fitting just there like that. I could put another one in this side too. I thought you might have done, but
yeah, no, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with my pond. It runs really well, so I don't really want to mess around with it too much now.
Have you got rid of the pickup and bought yourself a?
I got a van now, like a traveller.
Traveller, yeah.
I've got a proper. I got a whippet and I got a van, just like a traveller.
Is that so you got somewhere to get your head down when you're going to shows and stuff and doing a little bit?
Literally, yeah. I loved the truck. It was amazing, but like transporting koi back and forth in the back of a Ranger was like, it was a pain in the ass. But now I got the van, so I can take the koi down if I want to. I can get my head down in the back of it. It's just like a mobile little box, isn't it? It's way easier.
Yeah, plenty more room if you need to carry it else.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I can take my motorbike wherever I want to go. I can, it's just good, mate, isn't it? I mean, it's like ties handy, if I used to go mountain biking, I couldn't stop anywhere because the mountain bike was just like stuck on the back of my truck. But now it's like secured in the back of a van,
Yeah, you can get it out of way and out of sight. And are you going to convert it all over? Are you going to get yourself like a little bit of a bed and everything all in it?
I'm going to put a window in the sliding door side, and then I have made a steel frame just so there's a bed that sort of like tips down. Do you know what I mean? I think a 6-foot bed. I have got carpet beds that I was going to put in there, so I could just put a carpet bed in there. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm going to probably just do a little fold down bed in there, So in the National, I can just stay behind Perfect Aquatics tent and get absolutely shit-faced and not have to drive anywhere. And go for a swim with the GC, probably Ian Jenkins or Chips Vat. Like that. Ooh. Ian will find me in the morning, spawning with his number 1 Sankey.
Fucking.
You know he probably would, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Just see me naked there in like all wrapped up in a luminous green brushes with a Sankey gill plates all flared back on its back, smoking a cigarette.
Has anybody else got any more questions ready? Anything they'd like to ask us this evening then? Because we have exhausted everything we've done and we are pushing up to the 3-hour mark.
I got one for Lee.
Go on. Is it to do with fish sex?
No.
Okay.
What it is, mate, when you go, after your grow on tank is done and you go back out to Japan, what is going to be your next project?
Buys another 40 fish.
Well, I didn't get the end of it.
What's your thought process and where you're going to go after that?
So really, hopefully now, obviously when I get the grow on done, it's going to be good. By October, by the time I go back to Japan, if it's going to be October, that grow on pond will be empty. All the fish will be out of that. They'll be all offloaded and they'll be either in my big pond or, so that'll be collapsed down. So that'll be that done for a little bit. And then my next project really is to hopefully work over in Japan for 6 weeks and then just do a daily vlog working on a koi farm.
That'd be sweet.
So that's what you guys have never really seen properly, is just from waking up in the morning, every crappy little mundane task that I get given. But you boys will probably find it like really interesting. It's like the ins and outs. It's the mechanism of how what we've got in our pond actually get there. Do you know what I mean? And all the hard graft that the breeders actually do. You know what I mean? Because I can remember being in Hosokai. Ryan was selecting through a pond of tozai, and I was there with a net for about an hour, just scooping half a dozen fish at a time. And my back was breaking, and I thought to myself, mate, this is like, it's just scooping up fish, being buckled over. Mate, it's hard work. Do you know what I mean? It's hard work, you know?
Yeah.
That's why
I would imagine
question mark.
Hmm?
That's why the Japanese all walk like question marks, mate.
It's why Shinoda's dad's 4 foot tall.
Mate.
He only has to use a pan net for everything. Mate, I tell you what though, it's so funny because like I was in Shaz's and I said, mate, I need to go for a number 2. Shaz's, Shinoda.
Oh,
Shaz's.
Yeah, I call him Shaz's. So I said, Shaz's, I need to go for a number 2, mate. I need to drop a couple of chocolate chags off to the grow on. And he goes, yeah, just go down to the house, pal. Obviously in Japanese. So I went down to the house, opened the door, went through his office, and then seen his toilet, just about to slide the toilet door open, and this little dwarf came out with a bald head. I shit myself. It was his dad that's just warmed up the seat before me.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I think I did a little bit of a video on Shinoda's toilet. I was quite starstruck. Yeah.
Did you leave a sticker on it?
I didn't know. I'd left a sticker on the bottom of the Danichi toilet, though. So every time you walk into the Danichi shop, there's a toilet there. And when you walk in, it opens. There's an automatic one. And every time it opens, you can see the Koi Soldier's toilet sticker and it goes back down. I'm sure Shigeru's probably tried to get it off by now.
You've been out to Japan in winter and also summer months.
Mm.
Which is what season's better?
They're as good as each other, but in different ways. Like for me, oh mate, it's a hard one. They're equally as amazing. There's not one better than another, but there's different perks to each one. For me, someone who's always chasing the tozai dream, because I think it's very romantic, finding your own tozai, buying it, shipping it back, growing it, and winning competitions over here, like when they're Nisai and Sansai. That's special for me. So to get to the best tozai, you've got to go over there in January. Do you know what I mean? So you can see the development of them, and then in February, you're getting towards like the jumbo tozai, and like a lot of the tozai are held back by the breeders because they want to see the development before they actually do price them and sell them, right? And then that's when you can get all the good stuff. They're obviously properly highly priced if they're good. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really beating the breeder because the breeder's pulling your pants down, but you're still getting good stuff. So that's really good. And the breeders have got lots of time to talk to you because it's not really their busy period. And the mountains are beautiful. I love the snow. I was really gutted there was not much snow this time because it really is. Last year was in magical, amazing, you know. And it's so I really like the winter going over this amazing, but then autumn again is you get offered to go on harvests. That's once in a lifetime. Do you know what I mean? I done a load of harvests over there. You get to see your tozai that you've bought the February that we've just talked about come out, or in Takano's case, not come out. So that's really exciting to see what's going to be or what's not going to be. And then towards like the end of October, if you're over there for a decent period, then it becomes really busy and it's a totally different environment. It becomes very competitive. There's literally more dealers than koi in the koi houses. Do you know what I mean? And it's not as personal. The breeders have got no time for you really. They're flipping fish left, right, and centre. There's a lot of work to do. But you do meet a lot of cool people, you know what I mean? Like I met a lot of people from the States and from all over Europe that follow my channel and stuff, and they're really cool people, you know what I mean? They're really interested. They know way more about koi than I do, so I haven't got a clue why they follow me. They must be waiting to see the mosquito, I guess. But yeah, both periods have got magical times. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
Okay,
I was
so
hoping to go over.
If you could only
Pardon?
pick one of them, which one would you pick?
Oh.
Winter.
Go in the autumn and stay till the spring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a difficult one. It depends. If I was, I don't know. I can't answer that one. That's very hard, mate. Yeah, I can't. I can't. Yeah, I like the two of them. You know, equally.
But you're only
I
allowed one of them. Which one are you going to go with?
oh mate, I suppose it's gonna have to be October, mate, because that's the true. That's like yeah. That's the pilgrimage, isn't it? That is the time. When you go, I guess. But yeah, but then you miss out on the tozai then, and that's my. I like that. I like the tozai part more than anything else. The development from tozai to nisai is magical. I think it's amazing how they can go from like 10 cm to 55 cm, boom, in like 12 months, and you're like that. Oh, jackpot!
Like that.
Oh, it's just amazing. Like and I know koi is like the koi hobby is all about patience and time, and I realize that. And if you don't realize that, you may as well not be in the hobby. But you know, a year is still a good bit of patience to see what happens to something. But in the grand schemes of the koi hobby, it's not a long time, but you can see a massive progression there. It's good. I like that.
Lee, when you're going down south to see the farms down there and go and see Mike?
Oh, mate, yeah, I was gutted because I was meant to be going back over with Ryan in April. I was going to go over for a week, fly into Haneda, and then go straight down south because I think Ryan's going for 2. He's going to go up north for 1, and then I was going to meet him to go down south. But yeah, the missus booked a holiday right in the middle of April when I was meant to be going. So yeah, there we are. So that's not going to happen this year, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get down there. But again, I've never been down there, but I know for a fact if I do go down there, I know my favorite part of Japan's always going to be the north. And I know I've not been down there yet, but I know it will always be the north because going to those massive places like Sakai and all these mega big places, to spend the day hunting for probably the best koi in the world, it's good, but it's all under one roof. But like you know, I like to be sort of like a bit more Indiana Jones and sort of like go up north and, you know, hunt around, like, you know, and look for like little gems hidden under like grids that the breeders are trying to hide and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's more fun for me. I think it's cool.
I like the smaller breeders, Lee, when I was out there.
They're more magical. They're more.
It was lovely, but it was
more. Is it
was
more the fact that the commercial?
Say again, Kaz.
I was saying, is it more the fact that your smaller farms are more personal and the others are more bigger in your face commercial? Less time for you.
Well, Dionysus is a very clinical operation.
Yeah.
You know, you can see everything spotless. And you go to some of the smaller breeders. Some of the smaller breeders are spotless, but they're doing everything themselves. So, yeah, it's a lot more personal and
family orientated.
It's more interesting, to be perfectly honest. They got more time for you. Dionysus, you know, you don't see him; you just see hundreds of his staff knocking about.
Yeah.
Oh, you do see Shigeru kicking around. You know, you do see Shigeru kicking around, and don't get me wrong. You know, like he does say hello to me. You know, in autumn he was quite chatty actually at one point. I was down there with Evo, and he was really quite chatty. But he's yeah, you can turn up there, mate, and he won't even look at you sometimes. He can be quite rude, like. But then he's got a lot on his mind, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. I went up to Kobayashi.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like they're chalk and cheese, aren't they? Kobayashi and Shigeru. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Kobayashi, man, I clicked with him really well. I mean, he's only got 2 fish houses, you know, but what he was doing on his own, I got talking about his breeding, like his, you know, where he's going, and he's doing an Aragoki at the moment, and he's in his third generation. You know, he had loads of tiny little short body fish. That was fucking funny as they come.
Oh, these are the ones you were saying.
Fucking tiny little thing.
Yeah, a bit of a bad spawn in that. I wouldn't put those 2 parent sets together again.
Yeah, but he was a funny bloke. He's, you know,
hilarious, isn't he?
I've fun at the same time as doing your shopping. It was good.
I'm going snowboarding with him next year. He wanted to take me this year, but the snow was not very good. So, but next year I'm going to take my board.
Well, my last 2 days, mate, the snow disappeared even in the mountains.
Bonkers, isn't it?
It was like 21 degrees one day.
Actually, I'm going to France on the 17th. I haven't told Yasmin yet.
But you just have.
Koi hunting.
Yeah. Huh?
Koi hunting.
No, snowboarding.
It's cool.
I've infiltrated a stag do. I don't even know the guy getting married.
Soon regret that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is they've got a WhatsApp group. They added me yesterday, right? And I only know one of them. One of my best mates, Andrew, who's got like a hairdresser's just above, well, next to my tattoo shop. Basically, I've known him for about 12 years. And Andrew goes, "Oh, do you want to come snowboarding?" He goes, like one of the boys have pulled out and there's a space. I said, "Oh yeah." So I paid. They added me into the WhatsApp chat, and to introduce myself, I sent him the picture of me on all fours with my nutsack hanging down. I said, "Hiya, my name's Lee." Oh, they don't know what they're getting into. Naked snowboarding in France. I cannot wait.
I wish I could share that picture that you sent me, mate.
Don't.
And I'm gonna do the naked chinchilla in the window every morning.
Born in France.
I love being naked. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Do everybody
if I was
else
a koi, I'd be a Deutz.
Oh dear me.
Big fat leather carp.
Well, no, not after my diet in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, a malnutritioned one. I was talking to one of my subs last night, actually, a guy called Tom, and he owns an amazing fishing lake in France. I'm tempted to go down there for a bit of a fish, to be honest. Might take the carp rods out at some point
Some
this
nice
year.
Nice carp lakes in France, isn't there?
Yeah. The last place I went was a lake called Cubics, in France, and I think I pulled out a 45-pounder there. But they had one carp in there, 97 pound.
Wow.
That's a big carp, isn't it?
Mm.
My mate, I think my mate had an 84 out of there. I think he had a 69-pound carp, but it was half koi. It was like speckle. It looked like a mirror carp, but it was white and had speckles of Benny all over it. I'll see. I think it's on his Facebook. I'll see if I can find it and put it on one of my next videos.
Yeah.
Lee Bo's asked, Lee, do you ever fancy having a go at breeding your own koi? Spawning some?
Maybe in the future. It's something I've thought about, but don't know much about. Like the well, yeah, I should be talking, yeah, but nothing really. I would like to. I would like to have a go. It would be really fun, because I reckon. How old a koi got to be before they can start spawning? Like Sansai?
Awesome.
Start listening to Barry White.
Not even that. The temperature you keep, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you do that? Because I've got probably some quite decent parent koi, to be honest.
You've got a Sankey in yours that already looks like she's holding.
Yeah.
In mine.
Mm.
Hang on now, Sankey wise.
Sure,
well, I've got the
shower, but really heavy plump back end on her.
Yeah, the shower. It's the shower. Yeah, the Sankey. I've got the young champion from the Newark show last year. That's female. That would be an NND one. That would be because the qualities on that are really good. Well, to get young champion, it's got to be decent fish anyway. But I think that would be a good parent koi. And then I've got a Tucano male that's got a massive head on it and good skin quality. I think they'd be a good match. Yeah, be interesting, but I wouldn't really know how to do it, to be honest. Would I do it natural or would I do it like synthetically?
Yeah.
There's no point doing it unless you can look after 50,000 fryers. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Rick will fucking bang them together, mate. He's well good at making fish love each other.
Bring them over. Spend the night carp fishing. In the morning, you'll have a skinny female, and a male.
I should actually. I should actually take a couple of fish up there for you to spawn off, because I think I've got one or two which will probably do quite well.
There you go. Look, that's the next video.
What kind of setup would you need for that? So if I was to, let's just say now I changed the temperature in my grow on and that was empty, put a couple of brushes in there, put some Barry White on, whack those in there, right? They do their thing.
That's it, mate. Just let nature do the rest. That's it.
Spawning is easy.
Love, mate.
That's it, isn't it? And then I'd have to have quite a large aquarium with like loads of green algae on it. Is that right?
No.
You'd need about 20 acres of water to do a decent.
Yeah. Oh, so you'd still have to put him in like some sort of mud pond.
Yeah. You can't. You just can't do numbers in small tanks. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can hold them. We can hold 100,000 in a couple of 1,000-gallon pond for the first 2 weeks, and then they've got to go out. Otherwise, you're in. Yeah, it just doesn't. You just can't produce enough live food. And
there you go, mate. There's a Sakaguchi Lee Hadfield spawning set, and a lake with one of Rick's lakes fucking to sort it out for you.
That would be real fun, Rick. Maybe we should sort something like that out.
We should. I think Joe's coming down to film a set in May, so I'll put some parents in, and he'll come and do for his magazine online the filming of the fish spawning, how we set the eggs, and all that sort of shenanigans.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
so that's being teed up for somewhere early May, I believe.
Yeah, I definitely got a couple of nice Sankey that would do well there.
The only thing is the damage that occurs, the chance of
natural spawning. Yeah, you could end up losing.
They're going to spawn even if we strip them. They're still going to carry on spawning, and the chance of them, beating out scales, splitting fins, and all the rest of it is quite high. Yeah. So you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it with your fish you're getting ready for the national. You want to do it with
No, I know, yeah. But then there's no point doing it with fish that you wouldn't want to get ready for the national. You want to do it with your best fish, really, don't you? With the best qualities.
You do, but you do it with a fish that's perhaps been its best and now
Not
Yeah.
beyond it. And it's
Yeah,
you might
yeah.
think, oh, it's time to move that one on because it's peaked. But actually,
Lee's good at moving fish on, mate.
I heard, mate. My ears pricked up when he's getting rid of Shiros for peanuts.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, honestly, you wouldn't believe how much was Makoto selling those Shiros for in that bowl, Crafty? Were they going? Was it 1 million yen they were going for?
I'll tell you what.
I think they were like 5.5 grand, and they were nothing compared to my Shiro I offloaded.
Which you want keep your eye out for it because it might be back up market before long. It's $6,000 fish. Boom.
Yeah.
Honestly,
8.5 grand.
8.5 grand.
Jesus
And
Christ! You let yours go, and it were better. That's the bit
better.
what I was hinting at earlier on. It's trusting the process, Lee. Perhaps you're judging the process a little too soon.
Yeah. No, I knew it was good, but yeah, someone else have a nice fish in it.
That's
Yeah.
I've got a couple for you, Lee. I'm sure you'll grow massive fish out.
Well, I'm gonna have
3.
2 of them, and I'm gonna give one of them to Alan Tate.
Mate, he's fucking
Crap
dribbling on himself now.
He's got a
He
lake
loves
full
the
of them.
Shiro, doesn't he?
He's got a lake full of them, man. Like he's got a boat and lot, sails around it, checking them, feeding them 4 times a day.
He gets his daughter to look after him because he's forgotten how to. Alzheimer's. Sorry, Alan. I'm waiting for something to pop up on the screen any minute.
Wait for it's coming.
Fucking deserves everything he
Definitely
gets.
coming.
He's gone to bed. He's lost interest in us.
Yeah, he'll have fallen asleep in his Horlicks again, won't he?
Last of the summer wines just
You ring me
started.
tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right then, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us this evening, gentlemen. And I will say thank you very much to everybody that's come on and joined us this evening as well. If do you fancy picking a? Oh no, it's probably too late anyway. We'll probably think about starting to get into and redoing some of the koi appreciation again in the next up and coming months coming into spring, and then starting that one back off and again. But yeah. Usual thing, guys, if you've been enjoying this kind of content, do us a huge favor. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and obviously, don't forget to go check out these guys' channels as well. Until next time, keep smiling, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Good night, all.
Cricket bat.